What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the A Show with the Kings of Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm Justin, here with Meelz. I mean, I'll talk to you every day for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
I mean, it is what it is. It's Mania week, though. We're here.
Yeah,
Like,
finally, it felt. I won't say that it felt like it was as stressful as most years. Like last year was a stressful mania season,
oh,
right? Because
what do you mean, Mania season, like for us, or Mania season for like the show?
for just the show, for just as fans. I think as
Uh,
fans, it was stressful for us. I think there was a lot of stuff going down. I got to say, this has been a breezy season. I've largely enjoyed everything, aside from like honestly, like what's crazy, and I'm going off on a tangent, but like I think that for as many people, and because I was perusing the social media webs today, and I automatically will make your day better. But I
you
was
see,
perusing, huh?
you see Gail King in space.
Yeah, she why were they there for? I thought they was gonna be there just in space. They just went up then back down.
I think they reached space. So I'm assuming, and this is a tangent on top of a tangent, right? So
Okay.
I'm assuming because of the knownness of these celebrities, there's also a level of risk and insurance that
Yeah.
people would not be able to. So it's like we touching the tip of space and we send you right back. They're back
Yeah.
in
Like
12 minutes.
that's like you walked into a party and you realized there was no baddies in there, and then you turned right back around. It was like, this space shit is whack. I'm out. So I went online, and I kept that obviously, like, the big thing is like, oh, the Mania build is terrible. It's bad. It's the worst build ever. They had a chance to do this and they fumbled it. Alexa Bliss isn't on the card and they fumbled her. I'm like, there's so much stuff that's just like, what this season is, and like what, like, not everybody's gonna get on the card. You know what I mean? And the thing is like, when everyone used to get on the card back in the day, people still complain because the shows were like 7 hours long. So I gotta say, I feel like for all the complaints people have for the main roster booking, I feel like you could levy that onto NXT. I feel like the NXT booking has been like really atrocious. Like it's been really bad.
I agree with you. But there was, I mean, yeah, it's been pretty bad. Like low key, like
There's
it's
no
just
through line. There's no through line. There's no long-term stories. I guess like you could make a stretch that the main event is that, and I guess like the women's four-way is like not
not a
that.
story. And Julia's just back, right? It's
Yeah,
like that.
like,
Roxanne just came back, you know?
right. Like it's strange. It's like for all the people who say like, oh, you like what, let's look at the key arguments here, right? It was thrown together at the last minute. You can't say that
Mhm.
about main roster. That's just not true at
Yeah,
all. But one thing I didn't notice, like we'll talk about this too. Like the Priest and Drew storyline is a year long. It's a year long story. like
yeah,
pretty much, pretty much everything from wire to wire, from Mania to Mania. It's a story. You know what I mean? And like, there's none of that on NXT. Like I feel like for all the people that are like, I can't believe Jey Uso is going against Gunther. Nigga, I can't believe Jada Parker's in the fucking title picture right now after losing all that much.
Jada Parker's, I guess she's a standout. If I had to say, if there was a standout from the PC kids, it would seem like
Yeah.
she is, just based on the opportunities that she's got over the last year. I mean, she's had a world title match before.
But
Jada Parker,
she loses mad times and still got in.
she's over like we're over, baby.
No, but is that not the complaint people have about a lot of like?
This is true. I mean, but people don't take NXT seriously, unfortunately. People don't take NXT like seriously enough and invest as much time into NXT as they do other things. And then we're getting it from our side because everyone has some random complaint about like who's on the card, what demographic isn't being represented, or what this or that. And I
We'll
guess
talk about. I think there's a glaring match on this card that we'll talk about in a sec. Obviously, welcome to the WrestleMania prediction party. But there's going to be a match that we talk about that I feel like should not be on this card. Like I just feel like it shouldn't be on there.
I
But
I would agree with you, but it is. I think we both know where we're going with this. Um,
yeah,
what do you? How are you planning on celebrating this week? What are you planning? Like, what's your WrestleMania week planned out because they're going to be everywhere doing everything. I'm hoping we get a good like spicy, juicy interview like we got with CM Punk last year.
Yeah.
But because Gunther's was pretty like straightforward last week.
I feel like we got that with the Triple H podcast interview, which I have not like parsed all the way through. There's another. He's been on the podcast run for the Hall of Fame thing. He was on a podcast yesterday, talking explicitly about Vince stuff, and then he's allegedly pissing people off about this Andrew Schultz podcast. People are upset that he's on there. I'm gonna be real. Like, you should have known he was gonna be on that fucking podcast. Like,
yeah, that's the deal, right?
Yeah.
Like WWE makes these things. That's why we don't get Triple H on our podcast, right? Like because they're making the deals. Once we generate 1 million or billion expressions or likes or whatever the thing it is, and then we end up, fighting Jey Uso in the ring or something along those lines, then we can get him on our podcast. But,
yeah, pretty much.
But that's just kind of the world we're in. There is much, especially Mania week. I mean, I've heard this from people who work there that they are swamped. They just, it's a lot. They're going to be everywhere. So stay tuned to it. Like, I don't know who's going to be on Club Shay Shay. I'm assuming someone will be. Jey Uso's on Sneaker Shopping. The what else? Like, they're going to be everywhere. I'm assuming if Mad TV was still a thing, they'd be on Mad TV. I don't know, but like,
it's a synergy angle. But in terms of my week, I mean, literally everybody, a lot of my friends are going to be here this weekend. I'm not going to make it out to Vegas. Vegas is just expensive as fuck. You know what I mean? And I really, the vibe of Vegas is just like, the thinking that I got to be there for 4 days is hellacious. And a lot of people I know that are gonna they're dipping right as soon as fucking Mania ends. But a lot of my friends are coming down. I think Armand's gonna be in town. I think my boy Cam's gonna be in town. It's his birthday this week. We're gonna be watching it in my crib. We're gonna be watching it all in my crib. So yeah, right. I got the big TV. So
look at you, look at it hosting. You gonna throw something on the grill?
Yeah, I'm throwing something on the grill. I'm gonna be like Martin during the boxing fight. I'm gonna be watch that episode, and that's gonna be how I'm acting this whole weekend.
I love it. I love it. This week, I'm trying to. Well, we're preparing WrestleMania prediction party, so everyone make sure that not only you check this, but you check our Instagram, you check our YouTube, you check everything that we're doing, because we're working pretty hard on a lot of stuff. We got a retro diary shorts that's supposed to come out. Actually, probably supposed to be out by now. We got other social clips. We got other types of things. We got guests on this pod. We got everything going. So that'll be pretty much my week. And then after that, I'm trying to figure out how do I decompress from this week, because there's no time to decompress until at least like next week, Tuesday, right? Like, we're in the thick of it from now. Monday, Raw. Tuesday, NXT. Wednesday, it's a pretty big Dynamite episode, so I might actually tune into it. But it's also the finals for the Challenge All Stars 5, which people have not been high on. But
why is it a big episode again?
They're doing, it's the episode where they break Nitro's record. Remember?
So, so what?
It's the episode they break Nitro's record. I think we're getting Osprey, Takeshita, Monet, Athena. The trios championship will be on the line, whatever that is. Whoa. Yeah, Pac is out, so now Moxley is interim trios champion, which is like, I guess, what he needed.
Another belt. Listen, did you really give a shit about that record being broken?
Me, no, because I never really watched WCW like that, so I personally definitely don't care.
I don't give a fuck about that record being broken. I'm gonna be real. Everyone who's acting like they give a shit about that record being broken is full of shit. The Simpsons broke Nitro's streak on just TV. Period.
I mean,
ER broke the streak. Grey's Anatomy broke the streak.
They ain't got more episodes than NXT, I'll tell you that.
I don't give a fuck. That don't make it must watch to me. I guess Mercedes Athena is cool, but you already know how that's going down.
Thursday, what the fuck is happening on Thursday? Probably something. I don't know. Shout to Wale Mania.
Yep. 10
They're going to be doing it big in Vegas this year. Partnership with Netflix. A lot of great people. If you have the chance or the opportunity to go, slide through. And then Friday, SmackDown Hall of Fame. Low-key, I'm saying I probably won't be able to watch the Hall of Fame, but I might be up at one. Who knows?
The fact that they're keeping it very to PST.
Yeah.
Respect.
AMP. I was like, okay, all right, we're not showing the Eastern time, sure.
Wasn't SmackDown supposed to be like 2 hours at this point? Like, remember they said it was gonna revert in March?
I think they said May. But I really, really hope they go back to 2 hours. This 3 hour shit isn't for the birds, bro.
It's getting rough.
Saturday, early morning NXT. For early morning for you, rather. Early afternoon for me. And then WrestleMania. And people are complaining about, there's no matches. I can't believe people are complaining there's no matches on the pre-show. I'm like, you don't
bro, they're the most outlandish complaints are happening. You know how they say X, it's happening on X. All of the most annoying, y'all know y'all just need the extra $5.15 from your blue checks shit. Literally is happening right now.
I usually, to be honest with you, because the pre-shows got pretty long now, and it's actually like a full production type shit.
Yeah, it's 3 hours this year. It's 3 hours.
Yeah, but there's like, they do the ESPN thing where there's like a story about like some local community business who does this, and then like Big E will show up and say like, hey, what do you guys do in this business and stuff. Like, it's a whole production of a whole thing. Like, there are people probably just in charge of making sure that they have pre-show content, WrestleMania content. You don't have to watch it.
Yeah, no one's forcing you to watch that shit.
And it's not important. It's not like canon or anything. Like, all the little interviews that you're not gonna miss anything from missing the pre-show. Maybe
and if you do, you'll see it on YouTube. But at that point, it will be dated.
In 4 seconds, bro.
Yes.
Like, it's not a big deal. Have you been paying attention to this WrestleMania matches list they've been putting up on YouTube?
Yeah, man. I can't believe that it's still going. I think they just need to drop the final 5.
Oh yeah, they should have dropped it. Like, it's ridiculous. Anything glaring stand out to you? Not that we do too much, but anything stand out to you?
Cody Roman's too low, but that's the second one, right? It was the second one that they put up. They haven't put both of them up, right?
They put the second one up. I think they might have put the first one up, but I really don't think they're going to put
the first one. They have it's every main event, though, right?
I mean, it's not every main event. No, they're not all main event, is what I'll say.
Oh, okay.
But number 50, Cody versus Seth. Number 49, Sting versus Triple H. Number 48, Rock versus John Cena. I'll just get through notable ones. John Cena versus Shawn Michaels at 43. Mick Foley and Edge at 42. Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle, number 38.
Yeah.
So I think they do have a couple of repeats, because I think I do see Undertaker versus Triple H multiple times on here. Danny Bryan versus Kofi Kingston, number 35. Oh, I don't know if it's out yet. Let me actually check. So this week, an article on OK Player should be coming out that I wrote.
Sure.
I believe they're doing a whole WrestleMania week thing. So they asked me, shout out to people who think of me when it comes to like writing things. I'm like, what? They're like, you're the wrestling guy. I'm like, I am. And asked me to write a long op-ed about the Black wrestling experience and how it's evolved. And essentially, I wrote about how we're kind of more so, in terms of the Black wrestling experience, we're in the authentic era. Yeah. And that seems to be way more important than anything else. At first, we used to play these roles. Now we're being a lot more authentic, and it's coming across a lot better. So make sure you check that out.
Yeah, put yourself over. Put yourself over, baby.
Right. I didn't think between doing this, the WrestleMania prediction party, and 100, and then when this got on my desk, I was like, oh fuck, man. I
gotta do it though. What day does it come out?
I have no idea when it comes out. It's coming out this week though. For sure. Yeah, we'll post it. Usos versus Sami Zayn at Usos versus Owens and Sami Zayn at number 30. Randy Savage versus Hulk Hogan, number 27. Stone Cold versus Kevin Owens at number 24. That's interesting. Kurt Angle versus Shawn.
I can see that being 24. It was enjoyable, but
Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels at number 22. I think that might be a little low, to be honest. It's that match is really good. It doesn't really have like the impact of it.
yeah,
People were hot about Roman Reigns and The Rock versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins at number 20. And I'm just like, if you think of the greatest, like it depends what your definition of greatest is.
that was a great main event, though. That was one of the best main events ever.
And it's like it's important.
Yeah.
Sasha versus Bianca at number 19. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley at number 16. Let's see. And I'll get to number 10. Number 10 is Ronda versus Charlotte versus Becky. That's right. You got to put the women's in the top 10.
Yeah, put that in there. I saw a lot of people like belly aching about that. I was like, they were like, it's not a good match. I'm like, whatever. It's like
main event of all fucking time, bro.
Like, and that was when it was one day. Like that was when it was literally one day. Like that was the last one day Mania.
Because the shit started after 12 a.m.
Yeah, like it was for them to close out the one day era with a all women's main event. Like that's fucking huge.
Number 9, Ultimate Warrior versus Randy Savage, WrestleMania 7. Number 8, Hogan versus Andre, WrestleMania 3. Number 7, Dudley's versus Hardy's versus Edge and Christian, TLC match, WrestleMania 17. Number 6, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, WrestleMania. Yeah. Number 5, The Rock versus Stone Cold, WrestleMania 17.
So strange.
Why do you say that?
I mean, that match literally changed the course of the company at that time. Like it changed everything after it ended. And it's like a 5-star match. Yeah, it should be like at least top 3, if not number 1.
I agree. Listen, this was my favorite match for a long time. Favorite match at WrestleMania for a long time, low key until Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels.
I mean, come on, like it changed everything. The handshake changed everything.
Yeah, it was a moment for sure. Number 4 is Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat Intercontinental Championship. And at the time of this recording, number 3 is The Rock versus Hulk Hogan. I'm assuming number 2 is Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, Mania 25. And number 1 is, of course, the match that's going into the Hall of Fame. Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Submission match, WrestleMania 13. So Here we are. WrestleMania week, man. We also got we got to finish these hot takes too.
We do. But before that, I got a hot take before we start hot takes. It's not even a hot take. It's a question. And I will hope that you would be able to answer it. And we're going to talk about the main events a little bit later in the show with a special guest. But why the fuck is Roman Reigns a heel again? Can you make heads or tails why they're making this decision to make him a heel again?
I think this might be the idea, like this is the natural progression from losing his wise man, is that now he can no longer trust anybody. So I'm assuming that's what that is. Mm-hmm. And then post WrestleMania, when he does return one day, he will be a heel because we've got enough faces. I don't know.
They've never even tried. I feel like they tried for 3 months, and in between those 3 months, he was gone for the 3 months to make him a babyface. They have not tried at all.
More of him as a babyface. You want him like versus Drew. You want him versus Bronson Reed. I don't know.
I feel like it's just like the fans want to cheer him. You know what I mean? And you're like putting him in the crosshairs of a bunch of your biggest babyface. Like CM Punk, for all intents and purposes, is a babyface right now. He's like the biggest babyface in that match. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't know. I just don't know what. Like I'm seeing the messaging. I'm seeing what they're producing for him. All the vignettes, all of that stuff, and I'm not liking the direction. I'll just say that.
I feel you. I think I don't know. It feels like the natural progression. I feel like they're setting up for after WrestleMania. They might also be setting up for his L.
Yeah.
It'll to like lay you down gently, but we'll talk about that more when we talk about the main event of this thing at the end of this thing.
Yep.
Because we get into it. Trust me. Um, let's see. I had a hot take. Did you see my hot take in the spoiler talk last week? Actually,
No, was it during a show?
it was during the NXT show. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
haven't.
okay. So my hot take, I forgot to say it last week, was my hot take was that the main roster, we got a problem with this NXT call up things because I don't think there's enough people. More people need to go up or get off. Um, and there's not enough spots on the main roster as it is. So I
Mhm.
think there's a real logjam problem now. And I think we experienced this also in the past with Triple H and kind of how he operates things. I remember back in the day, we used to talk about how, like, I guess when was called up, we had
Mhm.
this discussion about like how long it took Shayna to really get to the main roster when she should have probably been there a while ago.
And then she got there and landed like a wet fart. Like
Yeah,
I feel like her introduction to the main roster, it really it stamped her in a way
yeah,
until up till this point. There were just so many bad decisions that were made with her. First going up, defeating everybody in the Elimination Chamber that year, and then losing to Becky, like, who was pregnant.
oh yeah. Becky gives up the belt, so she doesn't win it either. A lot of bad decisions going into it, but
But like Triple H loves his core 6, 7, 8 people. You see that with the women. You see that with the men. He loves his core guys and gals. I wouldn't say that like it's a logjam. I just think that they're just so stubborn, and I think not. I wouldn't even say stubborn. I think that again, he has a specific story written out, and if you are not within the parameters of that storyline, even the bloodline, the whatever the fuck they're called now, they're even on the outskirts of that thing right now, where it's like, they're not a part of it, but they're still dealing with people that were part of the bloodline storyline. So they're still part of the core 7, 8 people that they push every single week.
right.
My question is like, and I agree with you. My question is like, if y'all see that SmackDown is 3 hours and you're finding trouble even fitting people into that, why not just put some of those people on SmackDown? Like Melo hasn't had a match in weeks. If he
Yeah,
had a mid card, to face on SmackDown, he probably would have more matches a week. Miz would have more matches a week. Nakamura hasn't been seen in a month. Like there's just not enough people for like it, because when you think about it, it's the same people facing the same people over and over again, and there's no one getting called up. Because if you think about it, okay, I say Nakamura's been gone for a month. Who did he face? LA Knight, Solo can't face Solo, he's a heel. Melo can't face Melo, he's a heel. Miz can't face Miz because he's a heel. See, he'd only be facing LA Knight and
yeah.
Damian Priest. Like that's it. Like it's literally like they're creating their own problems, and I don't understand why they do this.
I think there's a lot of valuable and great assets currently on the main roster, which is definitely true. But I also think there's not. I think we can also figure out a way how to cycle a lot of these people in and out. I think Sammy, I mean, as reports stated, as it stands currently, Sammy
As it
Zayn.
stands currently. Yeah, like I'm like, bro, he main evented WrestleMania. Then he's been on a streak of WrestleManias. It's okay to let somebody else like get a turn, bro. Like I don't understand.
But I think it's important to like cycle these people out. I don't think Randy needs to be on the show on a weekly basis. Now we're in WrestleMania season, so it's all hands on deck. Obviously, every
Yeah.
big is going to be there. John Cena is randomly just added a date. He'll be there Friday on SmackDown. So
Mhm.
interesting to happen there. Shout out to The Rock for never showing up again after whatever the fuck he did. Uh,
He'll be there this weekend though. I think there's no question he'll be there this weekend.
yeah, but every time that we try to like every time, this is the one time we shot him bail for this big angle, and then he just never showed up again.
Like not
so,
even to explain it, not even to explain the conversation or nothing.
so now it's like, all right, this just goes into the pile of like the Rock's just doing shit.
Yeah.
Um, so it's I don't know. I think we need to figure out a way how to cycle a lot of these people of course, we're getting Penta just debuted, right? And Phoenix just debuted. And then incoming, Aleister Black is on his way. Rumors reported Rusev is on his way. If you don't see the video, you just roll
But
his
my thing is like, do Rusev really need to go straight to the main roster?
I would think if they...
He hasn't wrestled in a while.
Yeah, but
He's a
he's...
little rusty.
But he gonna go, I think. I think if
Start
you...
him in Evolve, have him work his way back up.
Listen, they definitely care. You want to go to the main roster or NXT? I give Rusev the same kind of thing. The fact they asked her that, how did you feel about that story? How transparent she was about her negotiations. I think it was one of the first times I think we've kind of like seen
the negotiation process.
Yeah, and just be as transparent about this bidding war as it is.
I think that it's two different styles, and I think that the two styles are both have their pros and cons. I think WWE's sorry, we just like our WWE's, they're dead ass serious when they say we're offering you an opportunity. Because I feel like they don't say that to like the people who are already making the millions of dollars. Like they're not saying that to Becky Lynch. You know what I'm saying? They're saying, well, how much you want? How can we make it happen? You know what I mean? But for the new people that come in, and I think that that's where you understand, or you start to understand why a lot of these indie guys feel spurned, because they're like, oh, how dare you say that you can't afford me? I have 15 5-star matches.
How dare I have to do a tryout?
Yes, how dare I have to do that? You make me do that. But I think that there's two, and AEW style is saying we'll give you all the money in the world and you'll have to work 2 days a week. You know what I'm saying? Like those are two styles, and for certain people it works, and for other people it doesn't. I have found, and we have found, that more often than not, the women will go for the WWE method of it, because they're looking at it. I give all the shout outs in the world to the women who sign in WWE, because they really be on the grind. They definitely go to the grind. Like they're cool with it. And Stephanie Vaquer, after reading the transcripts of that interview, I was like, there was nothing from what I seen or read. There was nothing in my mind that made me believe that this was not an option, or this was not going to be her option. I don't think money was of a conflict for her. I don't think any of that was a conflict. She always wanted to do this. And I think that on AEW's case, she said that they found out she was in Toronto, or niggas was finding out where she was. Like she actually curved both of
them. I'm sure they told her, like, because they contacted CMLL to kind of get her contract status so they could sign her. So I'm sure that also said like, yo, WWE is trying to sign her too. She going to Toronto. It's like, in Toronto.
Yeah. But like they were like, we want you front row at the pay-per-view, all of that stuff. And like, I think for her, I love how transparent it was, as you said, but I also love that it showed the two different styles, and like how someone that is as talented as her, and had a lot going for her, a lot of upside for her, how what her thought process was. Right. And from there, she says, Shawn Michaels called her, and that's the deal breaker. You get called by Shawn Michaels. There's currently nobody in the AEW's roster that like, if I was a wrestler and Shawn Michaels called me, I'm like, fuck, man, I don't know, man. This HBK.
You think he called Daniel Garcia?
I don't know. I would love to know what that looked like, because I mean, we all thought that he was out. He was like gone for a really long time. We all thought he was gone.
From what the idea that we got was that it just wasn't working creatively for him in AEW. And you saw it. You saw the writing on the wall, and kind of like how everything was built out for him his last year there. And the opportunity to go to WWE, he already had people who wanted him to go to WWE. We heard reports that even Bryan Danielson was also like, Nick, you should probably go to WWE.
Yeah.
But when the money calls, he picked up. And he said, hey, listen, I'm going to do what I do, it's life-changing money. I understand it from that perspective, because you're always not guaranteed thing. It's like in the NBA, right? I don't know if it's similar to the NBA. Yeah. But in the NBA, currently had a person, I'll equate this to someone who's Daniel Garcia-esque. There's oh my God, what's his name on the Suns now?
Bradley Beal?
No. So there's this Bradley Beal is Tyus Jones was signed by the Suns last year. He was the backup point guard for Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah. He was behind Ja. So he signed to the Suns, hoping that he would get the starting position and be able to do that. And eventually they just pulled him out of the starting position.
Yeah.
But he sacrificed money where he could have gotten money in other places for the opportunity here. And it didn't work out. So now he fully regrets it because now his value may be lower. I don't know if that's necessarily the same case for wrestling. Because they will always like, I don't think anything, it's not as competitively elsewhere unless you're just ass. Like you're just totally ass. But considering what they did for Ricky Starks, Lexus King, Ethan Page, Jade, Cody, Punk, Stephanie, I thought you wouldn't want to go.
Yeah, I mean it's clear. It's clear to me that like it seems. It really just seems like the WWE is like really paying her back for making the decision. Like they're making it. They're saying we're going to make this worth your while if you just sign with us, and they're doing that. She's won 2 championships already. She does more press than I think anybody in NXT I've ever seen. And also they're banking on the fact that she's Chilean born and she's the first Chilean born, WWE champion or champion in the company at that point. And they're capitalizing on her and it's working. You know what I mean? It's working. I do not see, we talked about a logjam just now. I do not see her staying in this division for very long. I really don't.
I would imagine she's a priority call up and will improve any roster that she's on. But I'm looking at like next 5 years from now, we're going to have to start cycling people out, at least even on a full term status. Like I'm looking low key, the Charlotte, Bailey, even Becky's already kind of transitioning in and out. But I'm looking at those 3, like we're gonna have to start transitioning them out, perching really Bianca, Rhea, Io as like the top women, and then a new roster of women kind of like under them where they'll have to go up against the Julias and Stephanie Vaqueras and shit like that. So
you're not adding a 5th show, a 6th show. You know what I mean? It's
if they want the extra bread, I'm pretty sure they would if they could.
Yeah, like I don't know what that looks like, and I think that we're gonna start seeing this issue rear its ugly head very often. Meelz, like there's gonna be times coming up soon where it's like you've got your core 4, your core 6. I think we can pretty much count who our core on both genders are, and they're gonna go from there.
Absolutely. Let's run through a couple more of these hot takes. We have I'm assuming this is where I left off. So we have a hot take from Kenny. Shout out to Kenny the Brophy. He says, can't think of a wrestling hot take. So please rank these Usos matches. Wow, okay. Hell in a Cell versus New Day. Night 1 WrestleMania main event. Bloodline Civil War.
Wow.
Money in the Bank versus Street Profits. And Backlash 6-man tag with Roman versus Orton, Riddle, and McIntyre. This is kind of tough.
I will put the Profits match last.
Profits match last. I really like that Profits match. I actually probably would put. I might. All right. See, this is the.
I mean, you look at the rest of the matches, Meelz. I'm like this. I mean, the Profits match is probably the worst of all of them.
No, it was really, really good. Remember,
I'm not saying worse. I'm not saying worse in terms of like quality. I'm talking about the quality is like it's like great, but still worse than the rest of these matches. It's like the Profits match to me is like not as good as a lot of the matches listed on that.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Go ahead.
I'll probably put the Profits match last. Actually, no, I'll put the 6-man last. Profits match after that.
Yeah. You got the Bloodline Civil War, Hell in a Cell.
Bloodline Civil War is so good, man. I put Night 1 number 1, Hell in a Cell number 2. No.
That's
Night 1. Night 1 number 1. Night 1 number 1.
Hell in a Cell number 2.
Bloodline Civil War is so good, man.
Bloodline Civil War is great in the last 5 minutes.
No, it's great the whole way through.
What are you talking about? It was like
When's the last time you watched it? When's the last time you watched it?
I haven't watched it in a while, but I remember specifically us talking about like the last 5 minutes is where this shit picked up.
I watched it recently. If I said that then I was capping. It was great.
Roman and Solo versus Jimmy and Jay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
What? I watched it recently. What are you talking about?
Okay. Okay.
It was on the little Bloodline timeline shit, the little playlist.
Last 5 minutes.
It was not great for only the last 5 minutes.
Okay.
The last 15 minutes were great.
Okay.
I'll go night 1, Civil War, Hell in a Cell, Profits in the 6-man.
I'm going night 1, Hell in a Cell. Bloodline, Civil War, Profits, 6-man. How about that? Just so everyone isn't judging me like they did last time with the Cody man thing.
Yeah. He said it, y'all, not me.
I stand by it, y'all. We got the next one from Asia. Shout out to Asia. Wishing you the best. I don't understand the fascination of Sheamus needing the IC title beyond he never won it. There are a bunch of guys who will benefit more from winning the IC title than him, Penta, Dom, Bronson. Wrestling fans have this thing of a feeling bad for wrestlers not achieving certain things and latching onto it. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but he doesn't need it. He'll be all right if he never wins it. I think that's a great way for Sheamus to look at his own career, and you might have been talking directly to him. You're like, "Hey, nigga, relax. Like, I don't."
That was some therapy for his ass just now.
Yeah, she's like, I don't need to see you on the timeline, everything, all the time about this. Mm-hmm. Sheamus is another one who's like, I guess he's like cycled out in a sense. But he's like, you know what he's there for. And when more new guys come up, eventually he'll be back in the fold. I could see a Trick Williams versus Sheamus feud somewhere down the line.
That would be crazy. He gonna rip Trick Dreads out. I mean, again, I like the idea of them cycling them out to give them a rest, give them a reboot, and then they still get paid. A lot of this stuff still happens, like especially for the older acts, like your AJs, your Sheamuses. And Cody, barely wrestles on TV anymore. He does a lot more like dark matches now, but like I like the idea of cycling them out so they don't get a lot of wear and tear anymore, because the schedule is grueling. It's not as like there isn't like a volume, but there is a bigger capacity of those. Like the Euro trip was crazy, you know what I mean? But like they don't do that very much domestically anymore, Sheamus, I never thought he should have won the shit. You know what I mean? I think that should just be one thing that just never happens. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a big deal that he doesn't win it because he won the fucking world title so many damn times. You know what I'm saying? Like, he won it during the era of volume where he just kept getting it. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what it was. Like, I do not get the idea of people holding on to these like trinkets more than the actual wrestlers do. I understand the getting invested in it, but like, let the booking tell the story. And if it's time for him to win it, he'll win it. If it's not, then he just won't. It'll be fine.
So the next one comes from Dr. Kurt. Shout out to Dr. Kurt. He has actually multiple, so we're only gonna do one.
Okay. What's the best one?
I'm trying to figure it out because he has like 4. Let's see. Okay. There's one that says hot take Meelz coded. Says main event Mello turns to get his first main roster title match of the summer thanks to his new team with The Miz. And he says main event Mello will become Money in the Bank this year.
I do feel like there's like something to the fact that all of the black men on PLE arguments center around Carmelo Hayes. And I do think that they recognize I do think that they recognize that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will hope that they do. I do think something cheeky is in the future for Melo. Just pairing him, like a lot of people are, oh, he's next to a geek like the Miz. I'm like, yes, and Miz is a geek, but like who's the best person to like betray or be betrayed on by? You know what I mean? Like that's, to me, seems like the most sense is for one of those things to happen. And then the other person, like if you look at the hit rate of everyone that's ever like betrayed the Miz, they always end up like doing something great.
What? They all end up worse off.
No, they don't. They win titles. They get hoes. They win titles. They get money.
Shout out to 4K. Where they at though?
On TV every week. What you talking about on TV this week? What you talking about?
I guess on TV this week, huh? Someone's got to wrestle.
I don't understand your hate.
Miz will wrestle this week. No worries. Next one comes from JD, who has again multiple one. I'm trying to pick the best one of these. I'm gonna pick one of these things because he has one that's very scathing about Ricochet that I don't agree with. Would you rather the Ricochet or B-Fab? Which one do you want to hear?
I like B-Fab. I hope it's not like negative. I'll say B-Fab.
B-Fab becoming the most over and improved member of Hit Row was not something I saw coming.
I don't know about most over, but definitely most improved for sure. She's definitely more improved.
Yeah.
Okay, do the Ricochet one. We got time. We can do the Ricochet one.
All right. Ricochet is that nerdy kid that was bullied at one school and then next year went to a new school and became popular because the other kids are lamer than he was.
It is true. I mean, I don't find any fault in that. No lies detected. That's a good take.
Oh my God.
I would not want to do that take. That's a great take. I like that. He's still losing a lot.
Yeah, but I think now he's not mad when he loses. I think that is what I'm saying. I think his character at this point has become to the point where he can lose because usually he's much more notable than his opponents. And he's kind of like fine. Now you can't keep losing. Don't get me wrong. You got to win at some points. But don't look at the camera like you Jim Halper, nigga.
He loses a lot. Like he takes pins in like multi-man matches and shit. Like he loses a hell of a lot, bro.
Did he win in the 8-man tag? Did he lose in that 8-man tag where they slapped all?
No, but he took the pin in the Kenny Omega match, and that one's like bigger.
That's true. I guess they didn't want to sacrifice. What's the Karate Kai thing?
Speedball, 8-ball.
Yeah.
Speedball. Yeah, he's bro. Can we let's talk about it? I don't get it.
I'm like, what? This guy's a lame. What?
Bro, corniest looking wrestler I've ever seen. Orange Cassidy, Speedball, Mike Bailey, bro. Corny looking niggas. Like they're corny looking, bro.
Like Orange Cassidy. This guy.
Yeah. But I was like, I seen him in PWG, and I thought that they would like switch up the style a little bit. Because I didn't like it when I saw him speed in PWG because he was barefoot, and I was like, that's nasty. That's nasty. I don't like Umaga. I ain't like it when he was barefoot either, but he put the little wrap on his foot. So it was almost like it was a chancleta. He put the wrap on his foot.
Rusev used to be barefoot.
His foot, and he broke his fucking foot, and then when he wore them boots.
Doesn't wore them boots. Next one comes from Ron Ryan. Says if WWE doesn't have a king or queen of the ring this year, I think it would be perfectly fine. It does not need to be a yearly tournament like people want. I actually disagree with that. I think the ring is needed. I mean, it's tough because Money in the Bank is also right there.
Yeah.
But if you're using it to set up SummerSlam, perfect purpose right there. Like legitimately.
Unless like this year they say that the Money in the Bank shot has to be at SummerSlam, then I would agree with that. But like, I mean, I like rotating tournaments. So like, even if they were to not do King and Queen in the Ring, I would like something, something to offset that, like a scramble match or like something a cool match stipulation to get a new number one contender.
Yeah, and I think it gives various people opportunities. It puts them in matches. You really highlight the competition of it all, which is really what you want to do.
Yeah.
I think Queen of the Ring, the only reason I'm iffy is because they do have the new belts for the women.
Yeah.
So kind of like If you're doing Queen of the Ring, a women's championship match,
They need
Intercontinental.
to establish those secondary titles for the women before they get another one of those. So yeah, I get that too.
But they may, who knows, like even they may be in the tournament. What if they're in Queen of the Ring, for instance, right? And they win it. So now the Intercontinental is fighting the women's championship or the world championship. Could be a big thing. Next one's from Marcus Brown. He says, I think the reason why Charlotte Tiffany feud isn't hitting because of Charlotte's ego, and she can't stand anyone. She think I don't proofread this before. Isn't hitting because Charlotte's ego. She can't stand anyone thinking that they could be her replacement. That might be one of the reasons why Charlotte Becky's strained relationship ago. I think this is what we talked about last week. You know, we talked about it last week. Yeah, it definitely is an ego thing, but I also think it's like a come take my spot if you want it. But you saw how subdued they were last week. This week,
and at the very least, they're playing it up a lot more. We're of course recording this after SmackDown. They're playing it up a little bit more. That Charlotte is mad, and that could be a reason why she's off her game. You know what I mean? I remember the big thing was like, I really love this tagline. I think about it all the time when Razor Ramon was facing Goldust. Again, cursed story. You know, everyone who knows me knows that was a canon event from my childhood. But I liked when they said like, is Razor Ramon going to be the bad guy or the mad guy? You know what I mean? And I like that distinction. Like, is Charlotte going to be the queen, or is she going to be, you know, mad as shit? You know what I'm saying? The whole time. You know what I mean? Like that's a storyline that I feel like matters more than what they were doing for the past 2 months. I don't know what the fuck they were doing for the past 2 months, but now it seems like the storyline is finally locked into gear, and we want to see the match.
I agree. This next one comes from Jules, who it's very interesting. Shout out to Jules, but also, while it is easy and understandable to acknowledge Jada Parker, Lola Vice, or Sol Ruka, it's also time to recognize that Jordan Grace is a baddie. And her roster full of baddies. 5'1" brolic Sabrina Carpenter that can fold you into a marvelous addition. And I look forward to the day she flexes her biceps with the NXT Women's Championship in hand. Hashtag safe space. Hashtag judgment free zone. Shout out to Jules.
Next take, please.
Next one comes from I Don't Even Care, which I think is someone who just signed up to the Patreon. I know who it is, so it is what it is.
Have I seen him? Who is it?
I feel like I could be wrong. I don't know if it's Soho Sultry. I could be wrong. On Twitter, because I remember, you know,
she signed up. She ain't said nothing.
Maybe. Charlotte's personal life shouldn't be promo fodder. Outside of the Tiffany thing.
Oh, she a Charlotte fan, ain't she?
Yeah, it might be me.
Yeah, it definitely is. Fucking Flair Muse.
Yeah. Charlotte's personal life shouldn't be promo fodder. Outside of the Tiffany thing, it's common practice for women to be cutting promos on her to bring her up her dad, which is fair, as he is a wrestler too, and it is something Cody has to deal with. But let Charlotte bring up that Tiffany has more facial work at 25 than Charlotte does at 57, which is crazy. Double. Everyone would be mad. Many wrestlers go into business themselves, but it's funny. Who gets lashings online? Charlotte being 57 is crazy.
I mean, come on, man. Come on. Remember in that scrum and the nigga called her old and Becky was like, whoa. Listen, I mean, I think ultimately, yes, we do agree that the personal thing was out of line. But as my wife says, this is quote for quote, I love a messy bitch. So
hey, there you go.
I love it.
That concludes the hot take. So shout out to you for submitting them. I'll be covering them over the last 2 weeks. Up next, we're going to get into the WrestleMania undercard predictions, ladies and gentlemen. We were talking about this extensive card, who's on it, who'll be there. And yeah.
One of these matches got cut. So like we're literally like, oh shit.
Oh shit. All right. Well, we'll talk about it up next on the A Show.
All right, we are back. A Show prediction party part 1. This is literally just the beginning of the deluge of content you get from us this week, but also just like it's a lot of stuff going on. This is just part 1, so part 2 is even going to be crazier. That's going to come out kind of right after this, probably the day after.
Next after, unless you're on Patreon, which you can get it all when you get, you know what I'm saying? So definitely sign up to the Patreon if you want it all early. But yeah, predictions, man. Night 1, night 2. They announced it. They announced what's going to be on what night, which is big.
Let me bring that up. They announced it on SmackDown, which I think is cool. I like that. Because the thing is, we was waiting. You know what I'm saying? We was always waiting all the way up to like literally Friday. Remember they would just do it on First Take?
It was like, yeah, they used to, but then they had to make me wait right before Randy Orton and LA Knight versus Solo and Tama Tonga. I'm just like, you made me wait 2 3/4 hours for this shit.
I mean, come on now. It's to keep you hooked in and keep you watching. But I mean, they put it right on the Instagram right after, so that was cool too. But we had a match that we had up here first, and that was Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. As of right now, it's rumored that Randy will have an opponent, but no one's saying who it is. There is a glaring missing spot on night 2 where this was originally supposed to go. And could there be a segment, Meelz? Do you think that Randy will be on the show? Will he be doing something? What do you think?
I think it'll be a segment. Have we got Snoop Dogg confirmed yet? I feel like WrestleMania.
Have it right be like
perfect. The new people in this game, you know what I'm saying? It's Snoop Dogg. So I think we need to figure out that Snoop Dogg integration with Randy Orton. If Randy Orton's not on this card, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, to be honest with you.
I'm not complaining. I'm not whining about that. You know what I'm saying?
You can still have a moment. I think they want to have the moment with the entrance and do all the other stuff like that, which is very much still in play if you want to do that. But I don't know if it needs.
Not necessary.
Point. People will complain. You could have added the Women's United States Championship on this card. Wow.
Let them have. Let the women be in the Andre.
Chelsea Green versus Zelina Vega should have been on this card.
Let them be in the Andre. I think that's how you make everybody happy.
You think Randy's gonna come out and do the Lashley?
Yeah. It's the one title he hasn't won.
Just do the Lashley. That's crazy. If I'm Randy and they put me in on the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, I don't want to win it. I'll be the last.
I think Randy's just having fun. He's doing side quests at this point. I think that whatever they do, it would be a shock or surprise to anyone. But I also feel like there's not going to be much of a surprise. It's probably going to be R-Truth coming out or something like that and then getting RKO'd or something. So who knows? We'll see. But for matches that are confirmed on this, we have Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest in a Sin City street fight. One of the few matches on this card that has a stipulation, which I've noticed they've been a lot more subdued with stipulations. I think there was only like one last year, and that was the Philly street fight with 4K versus the Negro group with Bobby Lashley. I forgot what they were called. Was it the Pride?
The Pride, yes.
Yeah, it was the Pride. It was 4K versus the Pride. The Negro group.
The Negro League, man.
The Negro League. The Negro League. What do you think? I mentioned this earlier in the show. This has been a year-long story. We'll talk about my alleged hypotheticals of why this match is happening the way that it's happening and what caused it to be this later on in the show when we talk about the main events. But what have you thought about all of this? Damian Priest, one of the few booked strongly people on the show, like he never loses, like he never looks bad, never looks stupid, going up against Drew McIntyre, who I feel as though sorely needs a win. What do you think?
I do think Drew needs to win, especially at WrestleMania. And I think, the past couple of years, he just hasn't had that win. Especially, I think 37. I think he loses against Bobby. 38. I forgot what he did. I think he beat up
he beat Baron Corbin. He beat Baron Corbin.
And then 39, he lost to Gunther. 40, loses the world.
Won
it, but then lost it.
Yeah.
I think Damian Priest has cooled off a little bit just from SmackDown.
It's SmackDown. It's
Yeah.
SmackDown's blue. You're cooled off, bruh.
Yeah. So I think he's cooled off a little bit, so he can probably take the L. But I see both of these guys as upcoming contenders for the WWE Championship at some point during this year. So I just see Drew probably first, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I just think that any avenue where Damian goes into that show and he's not immediately next to a Roman or a Cody or whatever was a big mistake. You're putting him against Nakamura. You put that was not the caliber of wrestler he was facing before he left Raw. You know what I mean? Like he was facing off against Gunther and Jay and all these other people. He was not facing off against fucking Like it just. I have no clue what they were doing, but I'll trust the process. I do think that booking and creative and Triple H, they do love Damian. It's just gonna be tough to find that spot, and hopefully it opens up a little bit after the smoke is cleared after this weekend.
Absolutely, but I'm picking Drew.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Drew as well. I think it's just time. I think there's no one most weeks that's better on the mic than him. There's nobody most weeks that's having better matches than him. He shows up. He does what he has to do. Do something with this guy, man. Just do something. I don't see Money in the Bank again for him, but I would love to see a title run for him this year, at least a short one.
I agree. What do we got next?
We have up next LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. This is happening on night 1, by the way. The previous match we talked about is night 2. Night 1, Jacob Fatu and LA Knight. And for the U.S. title,
oof. I mean,
here's my thing.
I didn't think. Can I say one thing? Yeah, I didn't think Fatu would be on this card over Solo Sikoa.
That's crazy to me. Yeah,
that is nuts.
The Solo Sikoa fall off has to be studied.
Yeah, because he's never had a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, ever.
I think it was the hottest thing for the entire year.
Well, but we knew, and we had been predicting it on this very show, that like it didn't feel like it was the right time to pull the trigger on the turn between Solo and Jacob. Like it was just, There was no time for them to do that, for it to actually matter. With everything else happening on the show, it would have either overshadowed something, or it would have not been given the attention that it needed to be given, because Jacob Fatu gets turned on by the Bloodline. Everybody's got to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? And there's just no time to do that. We've seen glimpses of Jacob having some sort of honor. We've seen glimpses of Jacob having some sort of fallout with the Bloodline. It's back and forth. This has been a really, really, really drawn out, in the Triple H fashion, drawn out, storyline where Solo and Tama know something that Jacob doesn't. But we're going into this match with two, and we just talked about it with Damian, two relatively protected guys. Like Jacob is extremely protected. LA Knight, he's only taken like 1 L this year.
To Shinsuke, and then he won it back.
Yeah, he's he's only taken 1 L. So like he's relatively, for a mid-carder, protected. Meelz he's not Damian level. He's not Damian levels, and
he's popular. He's over. So,
and it's going to be a test in Vegas, because I think Jacob might be more popular than him. You know what I mean? And I think this is. I don't know if these styles match. I will say this.
I probably would have said that last year, but then LA Knight and AJ Styles did surprise me last year.
True.
But I don't think we've seen like a long form Jacob Fatu straight up singles match since he's got to WWE, and them doing it on WrestleMania is actually quite bold. So, but I don't think this is a match that people are coming for realistically anyway. Mm-hmm. So, is this the crowning of Jacob Fatu? Do we do this here? Do we keep it on LA Knight? Do we keep a steady course at LA Knight?
I'm going to be real. This LA Knight reign has felt transitional from the moment he won it back to me. So the moment he won it back, I was like, I know he's going to lose it at WrestleMania, because it just he hasn't been out of the orbit of these guys since January. It does seem like they're going to crown Jacob Fatu, which also, like, here's the thing. If Jacob Fatu wins this after WrestleMania, now the U.S. title will be tangled in Bloodline business. Whereas people like Miz and Melo and all them people, they'll need the title and they won't be able to get it because it's gonna be tied up with guys that don't lose very often. And that's Solo and Jacob.
If he feuds with Solo while having this title, I think you're pretty much saying
Solo's gonna win.
No, I think you're pretty much saying it's a mid-card feud.
Yeah.
I don't think they want the optic. I don't think Jacob Fatu will hold it as long. Because I don't think they want to feud over the United States Championship. I think when they do their bloodline thing, this will probably around SummerSlam. They're gonna want to do it, on a much bigger, have it feel a lot more bigger. So I don't really know. I think all these title reigns are pretty transitional. Listen, man, LA Knight need to take that spinning solo from Miro anyway. So maybe LA Knight wins this.
maybe. But also, I mean, to your point, I mean, it could be Jacob and Miro. You know what I mean? That could be the next thing if that's what they want to do. Again, it's very hard to call it because if Jacob does win, it's tied up in bloodline shit, and those guys don't lose often. You know what I mean? Like I can't see many people on that roster that aren't Cody, Roman, anybody, you know what I'm saying, actually pinning these guys or getting a title off of them in any fashion. So like, if you're thinking that it's time to crown him, sure, but I don't honestly think Jacob needs a title to be as popular as he is right now. But he also doesn't need to lose. So will this be like a screwy WrestleMania finish, of which we don't get many of those? Would this be one where there's a DQ or something like that happens?
Right.
Or maybe we're just overthinking it and Jacob Fatu is going to win it. like honestly, it might just be as simple, as predictable as it needs to be.
Yeah, let's go Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better that way.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just as, I mean, you get the rub from LA Knight. LA Knight does not get hurt by losing here. Mm-hmm. He honestly probably should flip, to be honest with you. I think that probably time for him to flip. He's been a babyface for like almost going on 2 years now.
Yeah.
It's probably about time for him to flip. If it was me, I'd probably flip him already. What else is happening on this card? We have Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano.
They be having Rey do some.
Did he have to be on the card? Did he have to be on the card? This is happening night one, by the way.
They must love him. He's always on. He's for sure. No matter what, Rey Mysterio is on the card. Like, no matter if it's some stupid LWO tag match, if he's facing the sun, if he's getting beat by Samoa Joe in 8 seconds, he's on the card. Like, so Rey Mysterio, I think they're just like, they probably have too many partnerships tied up with him to not be on the card.
Oh, yeah. This shit about to be sponsored by goddamn Sinners, bitch. In theaters now. Listen, is this the moment where Chad gets unmasked? I think that's really just what we're trying to see here.
Yeah, I would say so. This should be it.
And Ray don't take many L's, period. Well, he does take mad L's, but lately he hasn't. Do you think he wins here? Is the Chad get? Because I feel like it's a big like throwing water on the whole program if Chad gets unmasked here. I feel like they want to stretch this out for another 6 weeks.
That would be wild. No, unmask him here. This is WrestleMania. Like,
yeah.
I don't see why you would wait any longer, or extend this feud any longer. To be honest with you, yeah, I would. To be honest, I guess Ray wins. I feel good. Ray wins. I don't know. Like, that's what I would say. There's not much to this feud. It's pretty straightforward. People are in their feels about it. You're gonna be really in your feels for WrestleMania. But yeah, I could see Rey Mysterio doesn't win, but I could see him winning.
Yeah, I could see him winning too.
He loses.
I can see him winning too. I always thought that ultimately the whole key of this would be that Gable finds a way to beat Luchadors and it circles back around to Penta one day and he gets his win back on Penta, or they do like a elongated feud. Like, I've always thought that was kind of the idea, but we'll see if that happens, because it seems like Penta's like bound for bigger and better things. And honestly, losing to Chad Gable is probably beneath his status right now on the show. Like
Right.
he's like upper mid card at this point, and Chad Gable's like firmly where he is. Next up, a match that's getting a little bit of controversy. It's going to be on have they announced what? Oh yes, on night one. Tag team title match for the World Tag Team Championships, the New Day versus the Viking Raiders. I don't know. If I'm a writer for SmackDown and I'm the guy who writes the tag teams, I'm feeling a type of way. I'm feeling a type of way because I wrote a bunch of creative that went from November all the way up to this point. 5 teams, I think 4 or 5 teams, all intertwining with each other at any given moment, having storylines, having week-to-week things going on a already bloated ass show that's too long, and we're padding out a lot of it. I'm just being real. The tag teams are padding out a lot of it with their storylines. They're getting over. Things are mattering. You had a huge title change overseas a couple of weeks ago that people reacted to and they were happy about.
Right.
The big match seems to be the Motor City Machine Guns, who came in and won the titles in their first month, and the Street Profits, who won their titles for the first time in 4 years. That's the big match. It doesn't need to be that fucking heavy. Instead, we get the New Day, who have, segment aside, largely been floundering and just doing whatever the fuck, nothing on this show.
Yeah.
Raw tag teams.
You don't even they're the tag team champions.
Yeah, like I have no clue who are the other tag teams on this division except for these two. I guess LWO and the American Alpha, who they've beaten, but no one really gives a shit. And you give it to the division that has no stories whatsoever right now.
They must be doing something here. I'm assuming something's happening here.
And if they don't, then what do we say?
Yeah, then there's some bullshit, is what we say. But unless Snoop is in this match.
Stop putting Snoop in everything.
Snoop gotta be, bro. Snoop makes it happen.
Stop putting Snoop in everything.
Moment, like,
is it a Biggie moment? Does Biggie cost them the titles? Does something crazy like that happen? I don't know, but I don't think there's been built up to for something like that to happen. They don't talk shit about Biggie every week.
No, not at all.
They don't call him out.
This is true. It's true. Yeah, I'm confused why this is on this card. This could have very well been on Raw this week.
It was on Raw. It's the AEW dynasty problem. This could have been on TV. I feel like that is where I will have my argument where, like, okay, you could have put Lyra on here. You could, Lyra is on here, shit. But you could have put something else on here. You know what I mean? Like it boggles the imagination how the SmackDown tag teams did not get this look. And I just think Street Profits deserve it. I think Motor City deserves it. I think DIY deserves it. I think all of those guys that worked so hard to get these tag titles over and feel like something on this show, they deserve this match. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. I do not think, Meelz, I do not think the New Day needs these tag titles. I do not think it is purposeful. I will agree that I do think maybe a guest or a special person does stop this from happening, but I do think the Viking Raiders will probably retain these titles at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it probably feels like they probably owe Viking. They probably told War Raiders like 8 times over, y'all gonna be on WrestleMania. Just wait. And New Day, there's got to be some branding. So I don't get it either, but they're here. Fuck it, black men on pay-per-views.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not those matches. I don't know. So does it really count? Can we get through the most vanilla match that I don't care about for sure on this card?
With AJ Logan?
AJ Logan, man. What is this? Who's this for? Not my demographic.
It's no heat on this. It's probably like the least excited AJ Styles match I've ever been excited for.
This is like a cycled Logan feud of the same brand. It's like a new flavor of Prime.
I don't know how he's run out of creative so fast that is interesting. And I think it's because he spends large portions of the year not on the show.
Yeah. So when you integrate them, you kind of have to reheat them,
Yeah.
and then do the same thing over again. But he was on Rumble. Did he do Elimination Chamber this year? I think
Yeah, he did. He did.
he did. And then he's just kind of like here. Honestly, you could have slotted AJ Styles and Logan Paul or two peas in the pod of just like niggas you just have to slot anywhere on WrestleMania somehow.
I'll have a match. It'll be good. I think it'll be fine. I just don't care. I just don't care.
Many AJ Styles, other than Shinsuke, I can't think of many AJ Styles matches that I cared about going into WrestleMania. Shane was cool. I'll say that. Shinsuke and Shane. But other than that, I mean, it's been Taker hair going in, but it ended up becoming better leaving.
Yeah, like I think of all the matches we might be eating our words with this one for sure. Okay. Like we're shitting on it right now. We may eat crow come Monday. I'm completely settled in that.
Styles' hyperbaric chamber somewhere.
Yeah. But like
muscles or something.
It'll end up being like the full on kind of, indie AEW type shit that people love. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be that. They're both talented fucking guys.
Yeah.
I just think with Logan Paul after this, what do you do? I think he's gonna win. I fully think he's gonna win.
It depends who wins the main event, huh? You could really do a Logan Paul versus Jey Uso. Jey Uso picking up that victory.
You could.
Be honest, it'd be the same thing. Like no one really believes Logan Paul will win or lose anything. So it's kind of like you need a essentially new or more exciting creative for him. Something a little bit more, but less surface level than
he needs to be on the show. We've gotten a Logan Paul title run, which is crazy to even say that we've gotten a Logan Paul title run because he still wasn't on the show when he had it.
Yeah.
And he even had defenses again. Like it just didn't matter. Like it's like he feels like still like he's like play wrestling. You know what I mean? Like he still feels like he's play wrestling, even though you could tell he has a great respect for the art of it. There's week to week stuff that he's not doing that is really hindering the care for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and his development overall as a character on this show or some sort of presence on the show. So yeah, I truly don't care for this match, and I don't know who wins. I'm gonna choose AJ. I'm assuming AJ got something going on, but AJ
is on the way out.
Yeah, but it can't be on the way out this year. You have to be on his way out next year.
Yeah.
Nigga. Jeff Jarrett found that out the hard way, man.
I don't think this will be the last match these two have against each other. That's why I say Logan wins.
Sidebar. This is tangent. What do you think about The Rock in New Japan? What do you think about that? Is this one of The Rock's doing shit?
No, I don't think he don't. I hate to be on the side of the Rock Riders right here.
The Rock Riders is crazy.
Of the the Dwayne disciples. I hate to be on there.
Right?
Yeah. He don't do anything for no reason. I'm certain that there is a reason for what he's doing. And if that is the case, if I am Tony Khan, I would be very afraid of anything that happens with New Japan after July in Forbidden Door.
I think Meltzer was trying to put 2 and 2 together with Jeff Cobb coming to WWE and New Japan and all this other stuff like that, which is funny. But The Rock don't do nothing for no reason, man. He don't wear shirts for no reason, bro.
Yeah, he don't wear shirts for anything he not getting a bag off of. Under Armour, anything like anything he got on is because he wearing he getting a bag for it or spent the bag on it.
Yeah,
and that little penny ante ass pro wrestling tees ass tee that he fucking direct shipped to his house. He for sure wearing that shit for a reason. So,
well, you print that shit out and say, put a Brahma Bull on that bitch.
But if you're New Japan and you're just waiting to see kind of the smoke clear from the TKO deal and Vince being gone and Triple H being the guy and how they treat Japanese talent and how they treat talent that comes from international and how they develop talent and stuff like that. And then you look at AEW and what they've done for you, you're not kind of seeing, seeing the tea leaves there. Like you're not trying to.
The AEW be loaning, like they just be Wrestle Kingdom, whatever they did after Wrestle Kingdom, which I already forgot the name of whatever that pay-per-view was, Wrestle Dynasty.
Yeah, Wrestle Dynasty.
Whatever it is. But yeah, they should be very afraid of The Rock's wearing a New Japan shirt.
Yeah, and New Japan's posting him.
Zay.
Yeah, New Japan's posting him. Like I've always said this. We said this on the show. I don't know what New Japan gets. I don't know what New Japan gets from this deal at all.
Hey man, New Japan need help.
Like all they got. Huh?
I said New Japan needs help, and there's only one brand that could truly help them.
Yeah. Yeah, and the only one brand that could help develop, their people. I think that if New Japan and WWE team up, the IWC will melt down. They have no more safe spaces anymore, at all. They will melt down. I want to see it for that reason alone. So,
who else we got on this card? We got 2 more matches, I believe.
We have the Fatal 4-Way Intercontinental Championship match between Braun Breaker, Penta, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. I would have to say some pretty good storylines developed all around on all of these. Of course, we're combining 2 different storylines: the Judgment storyline as well as the Penta and Braun storyline, which they've just began last month. And combining these 2 into one match, good idea. These guys can bring it. You know what I mean? Dominic has gotten so much better in the ring. Braun is Braun. Penta is the hottest thing in WWE right now. And you got Dominic, who's a heat magnet. Any moment it looks like he's going to win that title, people are going to react.
I think he's going to win it.
I don't know. It goes along with the Snake storyline. Along with the Snake storyline. So him winning it by pinning Finn, or there being a moment where Finn is down and Dom has to make that decision, is also equally as good. I'm going to go out on an unpopular opinion here, and I think Braun's going to win this match. I think Braun is just he's had the title for a while, but I don't think he's had like that singular defense yet. This match could be that, and I'm hoping that they give him his first Mania win, and I think that'd be cool.
I think Dom's going to win it just based on that alone. I still think it advances the Judgment Day storyline, which I guess needs a few more legs to continue on. And they need a notable win, to be honest with you. Like, they need a notable win, and if it doesn't come from Finn, I think it helps blow Finn up a little bit further. So I think I'm going to go with Dominic Mysterio on this one. I think that's he might have the highest odds out of all these 4, but I think I'm going to go with him.
Now we haven't even talked about Penta. We know he's going to do his thing. I foresee tag titles for him before I see singular title for him. Who knows if they do another draft? They just did like a mini one. I would probably do another draft because there needs to be some things shaken up. I think that the mini draft they did just only served to make things more confusing and stupid across the shows because none of the shit was clear. But I would move Phoenix over to Raw immediately and get that tag division rolling with those 2. Like that'd be the biggest tag team since the Hardy Boys if they were able to get the Lucha Brothers back.
Netflix is going to be super happy about that. Like, Netflix is doing, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think the match is going to be stellar, though. Again, there's a lot of matches on here that like we may have to eat crow about, but like I'm actually looking forward to this because I want to see Penta's entrance. I want to see, what Dom's going to do. I want to see all of that stuff. This is going to be a lot of pageantry, and I think they're really going to bring it here. I think Penta has done nothing but overachieve. I think he's over-indexed what WWE probably thought he would do, and I want to see what they do with him going forward. But I don't think Intercontinental title. I don't think he needs it yet. I think Braun definitely needs to keep that and have that one singular defense. I think he hasn't gotten that yet.
Right. No, for sure. And then final match. What do we got here?
The final match is going to be. Am I blind?
The just announced on Friday.
Women's
decided on women's tag team match.
Lara looked like the best women's wrestler in the world on Friday. She was doing all types of shit, power bombing hoes, deadlifting hoes.
I was like, do I not care about this women's tag team division? Because why did they just show up and just immediately look better than everybody else?
They're nerfing KC2. You know what I mean? The TikTok tag team, shit like that. Like, it's cool. It's cool that Bailey's on the show. Bailey's on the card. Of course, it's her and Lyra versus Liv and Raquel. What a year for Liv, circling right back around to this WrestleMania.
Yeah.
What a year for her.
And Raquel her debut on WrestleMania. I think this was her first time. Actually, no, she might have been on it last.
She was she on it last year? I thought she was on it last year.
So I think she was on it last year because I'm assuming she would have been teaming with Liv last year as well.
Let's see. Damn. There's a lot of niggas on here. No.
Oh,
Nope.
no. Oh wow. Okay. So yeah, Raquel, we could have put her in the run, I guess. Yeah.
Was she on 39? She wasn't on 39?
No, 39 was too far back. She was probably on Stand Deliver.
She was on 39 with Liv.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah. All right, so you know what? Fair. Look at that. Look how time is just circling
Liv,
back.
but the thing is, Liv was injured and she came back after Mania.
Look at these teams on 39. Ronda and Shayna, Natalya, Shotzi, Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. Look at it. Tag team division. The time is a square for them.
They just swap teammates.
Yeah. Anyway, Liv and Raquel's gonna win.
Yeah, I think Liv and Raquel wins. I think there's a bigger story to be told with Lyra and Bailey, and I hope that we get to that. I think the IC title is gonna start to heat up. I've had no listen, man. Lyra eats up, man. I have no complaints about her title defenses. She defends it more than like some of the niggas do.
The crowd is starting to do the bird thing now, so
yeah,
you know, it's good. She's gonna be with Bailey, consummate professional. Liv and Raquel, they got some good energy right now. I'm looking forward to this. I think this is who do you think is going to steal the show? Because I think this is actually going to be a sneaky fire match.
I think this is going to be sneaky fire as well. I think steal the show worthy is, like I said, I think we're severely underestimating AJ Logan. I'll say that, but I think this is probably the four-way. The four-way we expect it to be good, and I think that I feel like we might have that expectation going into it when it might be just good. But I think this one definitely has the ability.
What if Damian Drew do some PWG shit?
It's completely possible. Like I think Damian too old to be doing that flip off the rope shit. He need to stop doing that shit. But it's completely possible.
Yeah, you got to do it.
But it depends on
in and everything like that, bro. You're gonna be up.
It depends on if they get the time. They have to get the time to get these matches over. If they get the time to do it, then I think it's definitely possible. If they don't get the time, if they get like 8 minutes, I don't think it's possible. You know what I mean? Like it just depends on who gets the time, because these women are contending against Jade and Naomi, Charlotte and Tiffany, in the women's triple threat. Like they're facing off against a lot of matches that we already know are going to get time. You know, Charlotte's getting her 20. You know that the triple threat's getting that 20, 25. You know that the other matches are getting that time. Like it's going to be tough.
Absolutely.
So
I think that's the undercard, because up next we have the women's main event matches, which is going to be quite a lengthy and fun discussion.
Yes, we have a really cool guest for that. We have a really cool guest for the main events, and we have a very special guest that you guys probably would not expect that's going to pop in and join the prediction party for something that I think a lot of people are going to like. So thank you guys for listening. This has been part one of everything. Well, and
we're transition over into the women's match, and that'll end part one.
Yeah, that'll end part one.
We're recording this out of order.
It's all out of order. It's more out of order than it has ever been. But right. It's because of timelines and timing and shit. But we do it for you guys. Thank you guys for listening. We're actually recording from the future, commenting on the past. I think that's what's happening right now. So we're saying bye and enjoy WrestleMania weekend from the future, and the past will also do the same. So thank you guys for listening to this part of the show. We're going to end up part one right now with our special guest talking about the women's matches on WrestleMania 41. Peace out, you guys.
Number one, Nepo baby. And when I beat you at WrestleMania, Charlotte, and when it's all said and done, you're gonna be just like you are outside of the ring, alone. What is that record? Like what? 0 and 3. Woo! Hey, Tiffany, is that why Kaiser's in my DMs?
All right. We are back on the A Show, WrestleMania Prediction Party 2025. And we're gonna be talking about the women now, man. And this is probably like this is the section that I like the most every year because it always incites so much emotion. And in order to do this correctly, we had to get the right guest for the occasion. We wanted her on for a while. I mean, she's like the jack of all trades, creative director of White and Kennedy. She's behind some of the best and greatest campaigns that you've seen, and probably ones that you didn't even know she was behind. But she's here on the show today, first time ever. I'm so glad to have her on. Jordan Dinwiddie, what's going on, man?
Hi.
Aloha.
Nothing. Just here. Hanging out. I know. I'm just here. No, I am happy to be here. We were trying to make this happen for a long time, and I'm glad we could finally make it happen during Mania season.
Yes, and you know, again, I'm always been a big fan of yours, and I'm honored that you're a big fan of what we do over here at the A Show. So this is it's time for it to happen. It was just time for it to happen.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've all been friends on the internet for how long? Since like 2015, 16, something like that. Long time.
Long ass time.
I'm a fan of you lifting heavy weight and putting it down.
Are you going to the PC? I saw that, I was like, oh man.
I mean,
you could.
Fun fact: there's a wrestling school out here, and there's a promotion out here called DOA Wrestling. And before I sold my very first commercial, I was like, I got a little money now. I'm gonna go to wrestling school. And then I sold my first commercial, and I never went back. They never saw me again. No, I went for like 3 classes, and then they was like, Jordan, you want to go make a LeBron commercial? I said, yeah, bye.
Yeah, it's over.
Wait. What did you learn in the first 3 classes? I'm interested.
Had a promo class that was easy. Especially in Oregon. Promo class, bumps, running the ropes. I can do a sunset flip.
Oh, what? I can't even do that shit.
Yeah, I can do a sunset flip. I could. Please don't ask my big ass to do it now. But 2014 Jordan could do a sunset flip.
But you're like all over the world. You're all over the place, man. You've done a TED Talk, which I watched. And I watched it again. I actually watched it when it first came out. I watched it again before we did this, just so I could bring myself up to speed again. But like, you're like a self-proclaimed fangirl, and one thing that I love is that, like, I always say, like, people within media now, it's people think it's a bad thing to be a fan, and I'm just like, that is like one of the best things to be is a fan, like a fan of something. Can you like just kind of, if you can, talk about how like wrestling has like, and what and what you do in your day-to-day life and at work and everything. How did wrestling like kind of fit into that? How does what you learn from wrestling fit into what you do for commercials for like Nike and the WNBA and everything like that?
That's a good one. I think how I bring wrestling into my everyday life, besides just like speaking in wrestling terminology to people and they look at me like I'm crazy. I think being in a room where I'm usually the only Black woman and definitely like the only Black woman like in charge.
Yeah.
You kind of do have to kind of put on like another persona. You know what I mean? Like it is me kind of dialed up to a 10. It is me kind of like, you know what I mean? There is work me is not actually real me unless you,
right.
Unless I'm friends with you.
You have friends in the room right now.
I do have friends in the room. So I think that's really it. Also, I am also one of the creative directors on Jordan Brand, and I'm trying to figure out how to meet Roman Reigns every day.
I mean, y'all give him so much stuff. Like, I mean,
I don't give him nothing because they don't give me nothing. Jordan Brand gives him so much stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember when the Air Reigns hoodie was like, you remember?
Yeah.
I texted everybody I knew and I was like, how do I get one? How do I get one? How do I get one? I know that there's more than the one that he wore.
Yeah.
That are made. And they was like, I'll try. And everybody just like fell off the face of the map. So,
ghosted you. But
I asked, I said, closed mouths don't get fed. Give me an Air Reigns hoodie. That is not hard to get. I'm not asking for those shoes. I'm asking for the hoodie. That's it.
Like, what do you think? Again, if you were tasked to do a commercial for Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins or anybody like that, what's your first step? Like, what's the first word? Because I know as a creative director, you guys like you go off of like the one action word. Like, how do we give it to the how do we give it to the consumer or the person that's going to be feeding into this? Like, what's the word? Like, what do you bring it to the table? If WWE says, Jordan, we need you to make a commercial for this wrestler.
If it's about Roman Reigns, I'm probably not writing some big manifesto because I feel very like LeBron James. But I would treat Roman the way that like Nike treated LeBron back in like during that like Witness era LeBron. I would try to do something very epic. Like I'm not doing comedy for him.
Yeah,
it's gonna be one of those like I'm in a dark room, like working out, doing pull-ups. Like it's gonna be like super, super like intense. Whereas like Cody, I'm gonna have like kissing babies and stuff.
Yeah. The Cody one is, remember that old Aloe Black song? I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man.
yeah, like him just like running and then kids all follow behind him. Like,
of course.
You know what I mean?
And he runs up to a mural of him also holding kids or something.
Exactly. Exactly. And Liberty's just right there, like on their shoulder with them big old eyes. With them big old big eyes she got.
Very Superman coded for sure.
Yeah, very.
Another thing we wanted to do with you before we kick off the predictions. This is our first time, so we got to like try. Like it's not an actual episode. Like if you're an actual episode, we'd be like doing everything, but we got to actually get to these Mania matches because the show is already 4 hours long. It's already as long as Mania. But me and Meelz want to talk about the best dressed wrestlers and the flyest wrestlers in the game,
or who has the best style. Because maybe better than best dressed. Because like is it mean to say to find a well-dressed wrestler is very hard to find?
Did you just see my face?
So maybe I'm thinking like style.
Best dressed. Do they have to be in WWE? Or
no, I don't think so. No,
they don't. No. But I swear, if you say swerve, we're ending the
call.
Was.
Oh, that was never coming out of my mouth. That was never coming out of my mouth. I'm gonna be on the right side of history with that one.
Okay, thank
you. Best dressed wrestler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, some of them. Even if you have more than one in mind, you know what I'm saying.
So, strictly off of the Kendrick genes, I'm gonna say Seth right now.
Okay.
In this more dialed back kind of King Troy era where he's still.
I like how you mentioned that. The dialed backness is where I'm at with it.
It's a lot more dialed back. I mean, like the accessories are still very King Troy, but there's a bit of a calmness that's come with the looks lately. Like he's not dressing like Thug no more.
It reflects with the character he's in right now, where he is very much like he is reserved. He's not the peacock, so to speak, anymore. Like he's pretty. I love the kind of the Oliver Slate outfit he had on SmackDown with the flaming boots, like the Bray Wyatt he had on.
Yeah.
I told Rob the same thing. I was like, "Yo, I really like Seth's fit tonight. Holy shit!"
Like I think Seth's been doing very well.
And then the Titantrons mix up with it too. That's another thing we can't forget. His Trons have matched his moods. Yes, and nobody else in the game is doing it right now.
I have also noticed that. Who else can dress? Well, I'm gonna always put over my dear friend Alexis Littlefoot.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna say that. Shout out to sis. But these women, Lord, I'm gonna say. Ooh, Lord. It's really hard.
What if we name people? I'll name people. Jade.
All
right, Jade. Naomi. You guys have to watch the video version of this. You guys have to watch the video version of this. Liv Morgan.
She's all right. She's all right.
Bianca Belair. Jordan.
Okay.
Jordan.
I'm gonna say this.
I don't think. I understand. Go ahead.
I don't think Beyonce can dress. That don't mean that she's not great at what she do.
Hey, flex bombs all over.
You don't have it in there, do you?
No. It won't show up. It won't pop up because of that. I don't have it.
Can I say, you know what? Low key, in terms of what Yeah, hit the screen, Justin. In terms of what I was looking for style, and I was kind of looking down my timeline in terms of who's there. I would say that, and I know I don't know if Justin gonna give me the hella side eye for this. Lee Moriarty does a good job at trying to blend two different worlds together.
Who?
Lee Moriarty.
Oh, Lee, yeah. Okay. Lee, yeah. Lee.
Justin.
No, that wasn't shade to Lee. I didn't know what you said. Lee, yes. Lee is very good. Shout out, Lee. I don't know you, Lee. That was not shade at all. That was one that he turned your name into one word. I'm so sorry.
What about Natalia, Natty?
Why are you doing this?
She too, but my thing with Natty, she too designer down. She'll have a whole Louis Vuitton outfit.
Because she ain't got no kids.
Do y'all remember when she was in that red lace outfit? Like a couple.
Yeah. It was on the Netflix episode. It was a Netflix Raw, right?
It was fire. Jordan, Snow Bunny mind control. All right.
Okay, how about this? I think Charlotte can dress. I really enjoy Charlotte. Now.
Jordan, come on. Over Jade?
Jade,
it's all jumpsuits.
Yes, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's like put on some pants at some point. Like
okay, let's go to the men. Let's go back to the men real quick.
Okay.
Let's go back to the men real quick. Dom Mysterio.
I like Dom.
I think
he's got a calm fit.
He dresses how his age is. He dresses to his age.
Yeah, exactly. It's always a calm fit. There might be some, there might be a nice pair of sneakers. I mean, I don't know if that was the same off-white shirt that he was wearing for a while, or if he had bought a couple of them.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. But
I think
I'm always got something.
I think they probably tell him to wear the same one just for uniformity. Just for uniformity there. Because I mean, you look at his Instagram, he got that shit on. Like he be having all types of shit.
Always.
What about his dad, Rey Mysterio?
Have y'all seen those pictures of Elton John in Atlanta?
No. All right, I'm looking it up now.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Him and Natty are going like bar for bar over who can do the most like designer down.
Yeah. He be having LV stuff. He was like, I didn't even know LV made those.
Oh my god.
He also be like Gucci down.
Yeah.
He be Gucci down.
Two down
with Gucci shit I ain't never seen before. But
you can tell someone comes to his house with
that man be
some outfits.
Listen, I am surprised we ain't seen Ray at a show. How much money he spent?
Yeah, exactly. Like Ray, I feel like Ray got gambling problems. He might have a little bit of gambling problems. He dressed like the T.O. who be at the casino in Mexico and making bad decisions. That's what Ray dressed like for sure. Who else is on this list? I mean, we got to go there. Finn Balor.
Finn now as he gets older, it's like, I was like, oh, okay, I guess because I'm just not used to seeing him with clothes on for real.
Yeah.
So now the fact that he like wears jeans and stuff, I'm okay, yeah, like that's
it's
right.
like it's a lot of like basics and stuff.
Yeah,
like, that's how I feel like he's
very simple. I will say that the Finn shirt they made for him is very like finally famous, like feel like something I buy off like Karma.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He's very like 2013, 2012 coded. Remember the joggers? We used to wear the joggers up to our past our ankles. You can see our socks. That's how he dresses every day.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. This is more strictly with the character. How did you feel when Solo switched his character and started wearing suits? What did you think about the suits?
He looked like The Weeknd. I didn't understand. It was the gloves. The gloves really set me off. It was just like, why do you dress like The Weeknd? It wasn't even the red blazer. It was the red blazer with the gloves.
Yeah. And like it seems like he had a black pants on and stuff like that. Like literally going bar for bar with The Weeknd.
I always like Solo dressed like how he feel like Nino Brown dressed. Like he thinks he is like Nino Brown, and that's how he was dressing.
Sure, but he looked like. He might have thought he was Nino Brown.
He looked like
but he looked like The Weeknd.
The weekday. The fortnight.
Week off. It was the week off.
The week off is crazy. No, I mean, I think that's pretty much. I think that's pretty much it in terms of the discussion on anything. Because
I mean, I would say that Montez Ford is an interesting dress, but he be wearing full leopard print suits. That should be nuts to me.
Well, but see, I love it when couples are that head ass together. They can do that. Like, I appreciate that. Like me and my man, we don't do that. We don't do that. He don't even like to match sneakers. He'd be like, oh, like you wear your thing, I'm wearing something else. And I was like, no, we could be look. He's like, no, I'm not doing that.
Not too matchy.
Like, so I admire couples who really do like enjoy that and find joy in that.
Yeah,
that's just not how I was raised.
Yeah. For sure. Well, that is the world according to the fangirl. In terms of,
oh my god, they gonna think I'm evil, child.
No, I want to say something, but y'all
the people who listen to this podcast won't think you're evil.
No, they'll largely, our Discord will largely agree with you on a lot of this stuff. Because you know, at this point, we're doing everything for the Discord. They love us. That's our community. That's our family. And I'm pretty sure you gained about 70 new fans over
everybody join mine. It's called Bad Bitches Only. There's like 6 of us in that motherfucker. So please join.
Keep it a small group. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to moderate shit.
Well, let's get into WrestleMania proper. Meelz, where do you want to start with the women's matches on this card? Do we want to start with the most salacious one?
Let's start. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get that out of the way. I mean, I think all of them have their own level of mess.
Yes.
So it's kind of like really ranking the level of mess that comes with each. But let's start with the messiest, which is thus far. We go to mid mess, and then we end with some mess that's going on. We try to figure that out. And the messiest one thus far is clearly somehow Charlotte versus Tiffany for the WWE Women's Championship. How did we get here?
We got here because Charlotte decided
to clock in.
In December. We started seeing vignettes, and if you listen to the A show, I was like, Meelz, I called this months ago. I said, Meelz, these vignettes are not a good idea. They're not a good look, and they're actually actively kind of annoying because if she's coming back on this wave, she's going to get food.
Well, right. You're coming back from an ACL surgery, right? Like, so one would think that you're overcoming something, especially being out as long as you did. But then you come back as like, not only am I rich, but I'm the baddest queen that's ever existed. And, ACL was just a setback, but here's my diamond earrings and stuff like that. Like, people are going to be like, oh, it's just Charlotte on her. It's Charlotte on her shit.
Yeah.
So she returned at the Royal Rumble.
Somehow, and Charlotte returned.
And fully won the Royal Rumble almost instantly. Had to pick between her choices. And even the way she picked her choice was kind of messy. Because it was like, well, Rhea's kind of childish.
Yeah. She called Rhea child. But Rhea was like, bitch, don't pick me.
She went to NXT to humor them.
Yeah. The NXT thing was odd. Because even when she went to NXT, they booed her there too. And we should have seen the writing on the wall for this program because we all knew where it was going to be. But for her to even act like she was going to pick Julia at the time was just like, nigga, come on.
I think she respects she respects people, especially considering like Asuka and stuff like that, respects the ladies from overseas, respects people like that. So I think that she wanted to go and at least say like, hey, I see you.
Have a moment with them.
But it really wasn't a moment. Like, it was, you know what I'm saying? And then eventually she comes to SmackDown and she chooses Tiffany. And
Tiffany begged.
She did. She said Tiffany did go out there and say like,
pick me, please pick me.
I'm the one.
Like she asked for it.
Oh, is that where?
No. She literally asked her to pick her. I'm not saying she asked for nothing.
That's the thing. Ask for it is doing a lot of work. It's doing a lot of heavy work with the ask for it. But we got week after week of vignette of segment where Charlotte will come out, and remember Tiffany was in the throes of the Nia Jax program at the time, so that's something that they had not wrapped up before this. But she'd come out almost like whoop Tiffany's ass after Tiffany's ass got whooped. Sit on chairs, be like, I'm picking you, Sierra Mania, woo, and then drop the mic. And Tiffany just looked like a dork. She looked like a dweeb for a large part of this program. And I think a lot of people can agree. Like, she did not look good when they went overseas. The pull apart brawl where Tiffany was not caught by Charlotte anytime when she did the moonsault, whether it be off the ring or off the top of the damn set design. It just looked dumb. And then we get to kind of the inflection point here, and that was a side by side, like we are here now, promo where Charlotte just walked all over Tiffany, and we had to wait 2 long weeks until we got to basically the segment that everyone's talking about, the segment that's got everybody interested in this. Jordan, what did you think about the segment between Tiffany and Charlotte? We're going on like 2 weeks now of this segment, but what did you feel about that segment when you first saw it? Like, it was the most talked about thing on SmackDown, and there was a Roman segment on it, so like that means a lot. What
I'll say is, going back to the side by side, is I was bored. So I'm one of the few faithful Charlotte fans. I love Charlotte. I've loved Charlotte since like NXT. I really respect her. I do consider her one of the greatest. That's just me.
Yeah.
But I was bored to tears up until the side by side.
Yeah.
And I watch a lot of Housewives. I watch a lot of reality TV where women argue.
Yeah.
And sometimes a bitch has to clock in to really get that check. So I'm gonna drum up as much mess because we need to sell this show. Like, we need to sell this match. We need to get this check. Like why are we here having brunch and we ain't talking about nothing and the camera's here?
Yeah.
So I think Charlotte clocked in on that side by side, and Tiffany couldn't keep up. That was very apparent. Right. Now the second one, I think I sat there and I said, "What the fuck is this? What is going on?"
Was it the moment when Tiffany came out with the exact outfit that she was wearing?
Well, they've been doing it. Well, they've been doing it the entire time. They've been wearing the same outfits the entire program. Like going back to when they were in Europe. Why are they both in like an off shade of the same shade of pink?
Yeah, of blue. Yeah, pink. Yeah.
Yeah, like they were both in like glittery pink gear. Like,
yeah,
something about that is very strange to me.
Mm-hmm.
That nobody is like, "Hey girl, go change." Like, nobody has told either of them, "Hey girl, go change." And I think at this point, it's like, I think they're trying to mirror each other in some way.
Yeah, the substance.
Yeah, it's like yes, exactly, the substance. That's exactly what is happening. Yeah. But somehow, like, Demi Moore is more capable as like this old lady talking crazy in her house than Margaret Qualley.
Yeah.
Now, me and my boyfriend have talked about this. That girl did not have to bring up the marriages. That lady was just on Sherry Shepherd talking about the marriages, damn near in tears.
But listen, and my wife is a faithful housewife watcher as well. We watched it together, and she was like,
and she clocked in.
She said the same. She also said, and I quote, "I love a messy bitch." So that's why she at least respected where Tiffany came from. Even if she knew she was out of line. She even said, she's out of line, but I love a messy bitch, and this was great. And she loved it. And I think that's like the general consensus among a lot of people. Like, I've seen so much outrage, like, this is outrage. This is crazy. I'm like, bro, it is what it is. Yeah,
it showed it up to be something interesting, at least. Like, it's at least something noteworthy now that you're going to pay attention to, even if it is for all the wrong reasons, right?
Yeah.
Like, maybe she will kick her extra hard or something like that. Maybe she will move out the way of a backflip or something along those lines. Like, maybe she ain't taking that. You know what I'm saying? Taking that move.
That's the one thing about Charlotte, is that her matches look like fights. They don't. They're not scripted. They don't look scripted. They look like actual fights. When she puts that boot up, she's going to hit you with that boot. She's seen really her and Kyrie. We know this. Her and Kyrie be going to war. Like, where her and Kyrie saying that's her scrapping buddy. They go to war. Her and Asuka, they go to war. Can Tiffany handle it? Now, the thing about Tiffany is that in ring, we know she's there. She's good. I have had conversations, and I've said it on this show. I think the rush to make her a babyface was quite fast, and I don't think she's ready to do that but the reaction Charlotte is getting WWE it's played their hand. You saw what happened in Chicago. I was there in LA. I think you were there too. Were you at the LA Mania? We were there when they completely turned on her in the during the Rhea match. It was so much. Let's go Rhea. Fuck you, Charlotte. There was so much shit in the crowd that night. It was almost 90-10 Rhea that night. I'm expecting it to be 100% Tiffany Stratton at Mania, and I think Charlotte, if she's gonna get flustered in this promo, she needs to be prepared for what's coming during this match.
I think it's gonna go the other way because I think it's just very apparent. Like she can't be a babyface yet. Mm-hmm. Like she doesn't have her. They love Tiffy Time, and Tiffy Time to me is inherently heel.
Yes.
Like everything that they love about her is actually what makes her a heel. Like, so like, I think whether it's a double turn, something's going to happen because I just don't think that they can keep that belt on her much longer when every time she like puts it up, it's upside down.
Well, she got flustered. I think she was flustered.
No. Every single time. I want y'all to just go back and look. Every single time she throw the thing up, it is Ms. TV. Like every time she throws up, I've noticed. I'm like, it's always upside down. Like I just think that I get it. You strike while the iron's hot, but like she wasn't. I just don't think she wasn't ready. Like she was ready, but she wasn't ready.
Like if we're talking about this match and it's Tiffany Bianca, if it's Tiffany like someone else, like who I think with Charlotte, you gotta come ready. She not ready to like build you up. Like you gotta be already there for her.
You gotta earn it. Mm-hmm.
She's not great at making people. And me and Meelz have talked about this before. Like Becky's really good at that. Mercedes can do it. I think Bayley's probably better than all the four horsewomen of just making somebody and losing and it not affecting her. Charlotte, you got to be like the fully formed product. And if Tiffany, she's there in ring, but character-wise, that's where she's going to struggle, and that's where she struggled here. So, like, when it comes to predictions, I got to say, I don't think I've changed my prediction in any way, shape, or form. I think Charlotte's going to win this title, even though I don't think she should. I think that they need to go with Tiffany a lot longer. But, I mean, it's a Money in the Bank reign. I know EO was kind of like an anomaly with how long she held that title after she won it and cashed in. But Tiffany, I think she needs a little bit more time to chase before she can like fully become that baby face. And I think the perfect person for her to chase, honestly, probably is Charlotte.
Yep. I have to agree. I think Charlotte's taking it for all of the same reasons.
Yeah.
What do you say? Same. No, same. I mean, it's I think Tiffany, as skilled as she is, just hasn't. When you turn face when you win the belt, and you don't really get the chance to really have a good run before you hit that wall that is Charlotte. I mean, they put her with Trish Stratus so she can continue to kind of like build that thing. They put her against Nia Jax. To be honest with you, it's crazy Nia Jax is not even in this match or anything like that.
Consideration.
I think Nia Jax.
I like what every time I see Nia Jax, I go, "Oh, that's cute."
I love her hair.
Add her to the list.
Her hair is always good. She's got probably the best hair out of any of the women.
Her hair's always done, and I'm so glad she stopped like straightening it because the curls are very cute.
Yeah,
very true. So yeah, I'm picking Charlotte. at the end of the day.
Now, if Tiffany wins and Creative decides that Charlotte is the one that should be chasing, I think.
No, Charlotte's going to another brand.
I think so.
I think Charlotte would be like, she'll show up and just,
Charlotte will be on Netflix before we know it, and feuding with Rhea to make everybody forget what happened.
Yeah, this to me has this match out of all of the matches has the propensity to be a complete and utter what the fuck happened, or am I still the show? I don't know what's going to happen here. Tiffany's great in ring. Like the match quality is not in question. It's everything in between it. The decisions that they make are going to be very interesting. And I'm not sure what will happen here, but we all say Charlotte. So Team Charlotte, woohoo. I don't know. I'm a Tiffany fan, but I don't think she's ready. And I've said this before. I do not think she's ready for the bright lights, but maybe later this year she will be. Next matchup on the card. What do you say, Meelz?
Jordan, what would you do if you were in a situation where you had someone that you was cool with, and y'all did everything together, and then suddenly, for whatever reason, something happens to you. You know what I'm saying? And you're just out of the picture. You're out of commission. I don't know, something. I don't want to wish anything on you, but you're just out of the picture for right now. You're overseas. You're doing something, and then you see, your homegirl with another friend cosplaying kind of y'all together in a different way. Would you come back and seek vengeance, or or would you understand the situation that's going on? And I'm speaking about Naomi versus Jade, which is this program has evolved certainly over the last
program also long, but I think it's the longest program, all the women.
And then you found out it was actually her friend who sent you on that trip, and you wasn't really you didn't really even really
say
have
what
to
it
go.
is. You slimed her out. You got slimed out by your friend. X'd out.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I wouldn't be happy. Be happy. But also I feel like I would be the friend that is the Janet Jackson. I mean, just fix it. Just make it right. Fix it.
Bianca gave up too early. She said, fuck it, I'm out.
She said, listen, I need y'all to be grown and talk it out. I'm going on vacation. I hope y'all are.
We're gonna get to Bianca her Raw vacation. She ain't been on SmackDown in weeks. We're gonna get to her in a second. But
absolutely. How do you feel about Naomi's new character as well? Proceed to caution Naomi.
I really like it. I've always I think that over her time, I think that Naomi's promos have gotten better over time. I think she's definitely grown as a talker. This is the best that she's been. I really do think that time away at TNA really, like, I don't know what clicked for her, but everything has been there for her, like, as a character and like as a fully fledged character, and not just one of the great athletes and athletic people in the company. I think the caution tape's a bit much. We don't need to wear it every week. It doesn't need to be a full outfit. It could be a little hair bow. It doesn't need to be everything.
She ain't making leggings with caution.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, remember those?
Arm sleeves, and some Wonder Woman joints.
Yeah, like,
she's a May. So she needs a different song. She needs to really lock in with the drill. She needs to get maybe like Sleepy Hollow or somebody to do a drill version of I'm Amazing, and just have her entrance needs to have people getting light.
It's gonna be JT.
Oh, JT.
There we go.
I feel like
JT shaking ass with their hands out. Wake up.
But this,
go.
No, go ahead.
I kind of wish that she had gone back to Team Bad. Like, just had gone back to the bandana, for the real ones.
Yeah, slides. But I think this match has, and we haven't even got to her opponent yet. This match has a lot of. This is really show and prove for Jade Cargill. I think that a lot of her first year was kind of anchored to Bianca, and we already know Bianca is great. We know she's amazing, and this is Jade's first time out on her own without that help. And to our point, to everyone's point here, it's with Naomi. She's great. You know what I'm saying? But I think with Jade, a lot of people are kind of looking at her now like, okay, it's time to get the return on investment here, because now you're out there, you're on your own boat now, and this match is Mania match.
Second Mania match, by the way. That's kind of yeah. And it's most women don't get back-to-back Mania matches.
Mm-hmm.
Bailey is not, well, for all intents and purposes.
She probably
who knows what happens. She probably will be. But it's very hard to get a back-to-back Mania match. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They obviously believe in her and what she has to offer. And I've always, the one thing I've always said is, like, if Bianca is like the John Cena of this thing, I feel like Jade Cargill more equates to like the Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a really good comp.
Like the strong, still learning along the way, but you can tell that there's an energy and an attraction about her that draws you to her ultimately at the end of the day.
And that's why it sucks to hear so much of the negativity that was surrounding her disappearance. I mean, we still haven't gotten the story about it. I think at this point it doesn't fucking matter. She's back. It is what it is. But I think there's going to be.
But I do think she needs to make it a little bit more simpler. I think she's making things a little bit too complicated with the way she's portraying herself.
Yeah.
But I think she needs to pull it back and make it simple. Like, we love Jade for Jade.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like the scorned widow queen.
Blood on the fit. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is this?
Blood in my eye. You know what I'm saying?
It's so weird. It's such a weird. Like, she's trying to make the story, but she needs to let creative make the story. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's doing a whole bunch of working on social media. Let the people who get the big bucks do this. And you just kind of walk in, look at the script, say okay, and then do it and tell you to do it. Like, I think that just stick to that, because they have a plan. So as it comes to this match, I'm gonna say something that might be controversial here. It does not look to me, or it does not seem to me, that Jade will be winning this match. It does not seem to me that she's going to win this match, because she needs to get a lot more reps in with Naomi. I think she's also looked way too strong against Naomi, to a point where, like, it just doesn't look realistic. I even asked a couple weeks ago, why do I want to see this match if all she does is whip Naomi's ass? Like, it didn't make sense to me. However, I do think Naomi will do this with help. I would hope and pray that our girl, Lash Legend, is under that ring at WrestleMania and is going to assist with this. Because ultimately, to me, and we'll talk about this as well, is Jade having a partner to help her with this impending threat with Naomi. But I'll go ahead and go on a limb and say I think this will be a great showcase for Jade to show what she can do as a singles. But I also think that she was in the doghouse, and I do think that just like she lost to Liv, she's gonna be eating shit for a while because of whatever happened with the women, or has happened with the women. She might still be kind of eating a few pins before she makes it back to where she was a year ago, for sure.
I agree. I think everything that you just said is literally, you said everything that I was going to say.
Yeah.
Naomi has just been sniveling and getting her ass beat the entire time. There's no, like, I think last week I was like, why do I care? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, why do I care? I know why I care, but like, why would I want to see this happen again? Like, yeah, Naomi's definitely winning, and I don't think it's just Lash. I think that Jakara will be with her too. I think it'll be both of them.
I didn't say Jakara because Jakara's. She's not great. She's not great.
But I think that they have not separated those two at all.
Okay.
And I think the women's tag division needs something.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
And so I think to help build up the women's tag division to eventually have Jade break out and be the star of that tag team, which also they gonna need a new name, because Meta Girls will be nothing without the other two.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but I think Lash and Miss Lollipop are
Miss Jackson.
Lollipop Jackson, yes. Are definitely gonna cost Jade the pin.
I like that. I'm also going, well, kind of part of me does think Jade is gonna win just off the strength, but you're right. It makes the program a lot more interesting. Especially, I do think it has potential to continue after Mania. Yeah. If they want to do that.
Mania always got that one match that makes us scratch our heads like, what the fuck? Why the fuck did that happen? Like, why did that person lose? Like, there's always one match at Mania where it's just like, what the fuck? Like, I call it the Y2J AJ Styles match, where it's like, what the fuck just happened? Did I just witness that? I think this will be the what the fuck match that happens during the show, that where someone loses unexpectedly that we did not think it was gonna happen. I think this is the one, and we should bank on that one. So we're all in agreement. We 2-2 at this point. Let's see what we think about this next match. Meelz, what you got to say?
The triple threat match for the Women's World Championship. All right, so it's Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair versus champion Io Sky. Yep. We recently put up a clip on our social medias regarding the reasons why Bianca Belair is probably being booed in these situations. And we said essentially the reality, and it sparked a lot of like people are actually like they're still arguing to this day, back and forth about it. But we said essentially
they called us coons. They called us coons, Jordan.
I'm sure they did.
I seen it. They called us coons.
Oh, I muted the tweet. So.
Yeah, they called us coons. They said we're some of the biggest coons.
Oh, well, how you gonna do it? But it's more so if you look at the last year of Rhea Ripley versus the last year of Bianca Belair, it's the reason why there's people cheering Rhea Ripley. There's a lot more to it in terms of like being betrayed and her redemption story and reaching the top and stuff like that. And essentially Bianca Belair has just been tag teaming with Jade and whooping many of an ass. So her getting in this situation and not only just being like, hey, Rhea, you acting kind of weird. I know you lost the championship, and she's blaming Bianca for her losing the championship, which is another thing. But it's like, I think you should wait your turn like everyone else is, because I have properly won the way into this, into this main event match. Eventually, Rhea gets in the championship match herself just by Adam Pearce. Just fuck it.
Well, fuck Rhea. There's a lot that happened. There was a rematch that we didn't know that Rhea wasn't, and I think that's key to the story as well. Is that like I think people look at this story and they're just like, well, Rhea's white, so she's getting the match or stuff like that. And I'm just like, no, there's actually like kind of like it's a very good through line. All three of these women have issues with each other in different ways, right? Rhea's issue with Bianca is that she really wanted to face Bianca. And I think she's threatened by Bianca, and she's childish. And we all know that Rhea is a childish character, and it's been brought up by Charlotte earlier this year. I don't think that was a mistake. Like, she brought up how childish she was acting, how impulsive she was, and that character has come out. Now, whether or not you respect the way that the creative is telling the story, that's completely on you. But I think that it looks like she's a brat, and she's throwing tantrums, which is valid. It's fair. But also, Bianca is also acting like the fucking goody two shoes. Hey, she didn't do, like, the fans don't want to hear what Bianca got to say because it's not the fun option that they want. Shout out to Armand. It's not the fun option that they want, and that's why they're booing her. And I was like, it was funny because they booed her in America, and people were like, man, it's just showing you where we are as a country. I'm like, no, she is. Someone has to be booed. Like, she's next to two very popular stars, and Bianca. And my thing is like this. If Bianca's not, like, at least people are not just silent. Like when Zoe Stark comes out, like people have a reaction to Bianca, whether it's booing or yelling, and that's ultimately what gets you the TV time. And it's not like it's like 100% boos for her. It is pretty much even between all of the women in this match. It's just a little bit more cheers for Rhea, and I think that I think people are underestimating how big of a deal this match is in general. Rhea is from Australia, Io from Japan, Bianca from America. This is like a fucking the greatest powers of all continents, or of some of the biggest continents coming together. Like, this is an international ass match, and it's also the match between, arguably, if Becky's not here, the three top chicks out right now. That's three top women out right now. Like, it's these three. These are my three. Other than Becky, these are my other. These are 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. This is a big fucking deal. I think that you can't have this match without Rhea in it because of how popular she is. Io, y'all always want Io. Niggas always want Io to be in something. They thought she wasn't making it to Mania. We thought she was going to lose to Rhea the other week. And when she beat her, we were like, oh, well, what the fuck just happened? You know what I'm saying? And that meant that she was getting to Mania. And then we have Bianca, where they basically plucked her from SmackDown and said, get over here. Gonna be on. You're a Raw superstar for the next 3 months.
And that was Netflix.
Yeah.
Where's she at? Ooh, shit.
They did that on the Zoom too. They said, where's she at? Hung up the Zoom. But like, again, it is the three biggest women in the company right now. Why would you not be excited for this? My big question is, even throughout all of this, throughout all the pushes, I don't think the three of us are going to agree on who should win this match. And I'm going to start with you, Jordan. Who do you think is going to win this match?
Oh, man. I don't think that they're ready to let that streak go yet. I think Bianca's going to win strictly because...
Interesting, yeah.
There needs to be a streak. There needs to be a Mr. WrestleMania. There needs to be a Mrs. WrestleMania, and it's going to be Bianca. They're not going to break that streak. It hasn't been going for that long. This is what it's gonna be her fourth or third Mania. It's too early. It's too early to break the streak. I think there'll be a double turn. I think she will leave Mania heel, perhaps.
Ooh, okay.
Evil Bianca. I've been calling it. I told you, Evil Bianca is on the way.
It is. I saw she had all those clips in her hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a girl one. And I said, NXT Bianca is amongst us.
Yeah,
she's coming.
Because she's gonna be like, she'll win and be like, why the fuck y'all booing me for doing what I said I was going for being great?
Why are y'all booing me when I was always supposed to be in the match in the first place?
Yes.
And also, if you look at her on TikTok and she's doing all these like, well, let me explain myself TikTok. So she's like, it's like, why the fuck, like, girl, you ain't never had to explain yourself before.
Yeah. I love this.
Who are you trying to convince? Me or yourself that you're doing right?
Story time with Bianca.
Exactly. And like, she's always got a point. She's never wrong. If I got punched twice, I'd be like, yeah, girl, fuck this. Y'all both lose. I'm done. I'm done with this. But like, yeah, like, it's very clear that something is coming. She's been in all black lately. That little leather situation she had, like, I don't know. The writing is on the wall.
Yeah. I love that theory. We thought Bianca was behind the Jade thing for a long time. We thought it was her, but she hasn't exactly not been questionable or sus. Even if she didn't do the Jade thing, she's still been sus irregardless of anything, because you didn't give a shit about trying to like really figure out who did this shit, other than, you know what I'm saying, a couple times that it happened. So we've definitely been hashtag theorizing Evil Bianca for quite some time. Meelz, who do you think is winning this match? Let me see if I'm wrong here, if we all three have a different opinion.
So you're probably wrong. Because I think Bianca's winning this match. I don't think it's for the same reasons though. I think Bianca's just winning this match because she's Bianca fucking Belair. Like, at the end of the day, like, the reality of the matter is they wouldn't be giving her this match if she could have been very well been doing whatever she was doing on the brand she was doing it with. She could have maybe snuck her way into the SmackDown Women's Championship match. She could have been in this it could have been a big 3 triple threat. She could have been doing whatever she was doing over there when she was doing it over there. Like you said, it's Bianca Belair. There's Netflix involved. Mm-hmm. The one way to keep her latched to that damn show is for her to win that belt.
Yeah.
And she's not going anywhere.
That would mean Montez. That would mean Montez and Montez and Dawkins. They're on SmackDown, so they're the champions.
I low-key feel like the brand shit don't even matter anymore, because
it absolutely does. But I mean, like,
they don't really like travel. It's not like a big 4-day travel week anymore, and they don't even do it by brand anymore. Like, it's really, it's really like, all right, I'm going to Raw. All right, see you on, Tuesday. Wednesday. Yeah, or Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. Like, I don't think it's as big of a deal. But they on separate brands.
They travel together. They're married, Meelz. I think that is like a
travel with Dakota. Travel with your homegirls. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I personally, I don't know. It feels like a tag ladder match is coming, and I don't think that they're gonna keep those titles on them for very long.
Yeah,
I think. I think just Bianca. Just there's been so many times like people have bet against Bianca, and it's like, well, now you feel stupid because she won. And she wins a lot.
Yeah,
like
she does. She's only been pinned by like Liv, like in the last year, like, and that's it. Like it has not happened often. So like I'll give you that.
I'd rather her win than I don't want a never been pinned at WrestleMania. Nah, fuck that. Never lost at WrestleMania. How about that? I don't want this never been pinned shit.
I think that I'm gonna defer from you guys, and I think that or rather diverge. I really think Io is retaining here. I think Bianca is going to go back to SmackDown, because I think her and Jared are going to team up against Naomi and whoever the new girl is. I think that's just J5 booking. My booking ideas never come true most times anyway. But I think she's going back to SmackDown. I just can't see her just leaving like that. Like, it just doesn't make sense yet. I think Rhea is strongest if she chases, But I also feel like we're missing one big thing going on Raw that hasn't happened yet, and that's the return of Becky Lynch. I think a returning Becky Lynch is like a huge thing because Rhea beat Becky. And then when Rhea was injured, Becky took her title. And I think that she left on that note. And I think that there's a lot of unfinished business with Rhea and Becky that could still go along with Rhea being the one to chase. I don't see Rhea getting that title back until like maybe SummerSlam, but Becky Lynch is on the way back. Now, to your point, you guys could be right, and Bianca could win, and Becky and Bianca could be reignited, but double turn here with Becky as the face, Bianca as the heel. I think there's a lot of money in that. I think there's a hell of a lot of money in that shit. However, Io is just like, people don't recognize this, but Triple H loves Io Sky. Like, he fucking loves her. She is always in something. And I think that he really wants to like have her as a major focal point of the women's division for a while, even if that means Becky does eventually beat her or Rhea eventually beats her. That's why I think Io retains. I think Bianca my prevailing theory is that Naomi will cost her the title. That's been my name. That
would be interesting. That would be interesting. Yeah,
is Naomi, because Bianca's name has never really stopped being in Naomi's mouth, and the way that they left off, where it was like, you left me in the ring screaming your name, and just to go after this title, but like, nah, motherfucker, you coming back here? You got to face this. You got to face what you did, and having Naomi in the Meta Girls cost her makes a lot of sense, because we could always come back to Rhea and Bianca one-on-one. But this type of match can only happen one time at Mania, and that's why I think Io retains. I think some fuckery happens, because I think the triple threat is on night 2, and Jade and Naomi's night 1. So I think that's why I think it's going to be Io retaining. But if it's Bianca, I'm not going to be mad either. But I think streaks are just outdated, man. Do we need another streak?
I don't know. They've been building her in this way, and I don't know. I see your vision, but part of me is just like, they've built so much equity in this. Why stop here?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Funny part is, last streak that happened, there was actually another streak that's going on for the last couple of years, and I have some intel on it. Well, it's not really. You're not. If I say who the person is, you're gonna be like, all right, who the fuck cares? But this person had a streak. They went into WrestleMania and say like, hey, just remember, I haven't really lost at WrestleMania, and they said we don't give a fuck, and they lost at that WrestleMania.
Who was it?
It was at WrestleMania 39 in that big tag team match. I'll let you know who it. You can look it up. It's a 4-way tag team match, WrestleMania 39. Only one of these people.
Was it
It was Braun. It was Braun.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. I was like the only one. Yeah. It was. I was like the tag.
I was like, it wasn't Profits, wasn't Otis. I was like, it had to be Braun. It had to be Braun.
Yeah.
It was that big schmoz. But that was our conversation on the top women's matches in WrestleMania 41. Jordan, this has been great. We got to have you back. We got to have you back. This is amazing. Tell people where they can find you, and anything that you've been working on, where they can see, anything like that.
I mean, you can find me on Twitter at Jordan Said So. You can find me on Instagram at Jordan Renee, RENEE, Jordan like Michael. That's really it. I have a newsletter that I haven't updated in like 3 years. Maybe I'll do it one day. You should subscribe and find it, and maybe see.
I've been waiting for an update.
I know. It's called thefangirl.substack.com. So call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
Yes, sir.
They said, do you want to make a Jordan commercial? And she was like, yeah, fuck that then.
Let me tell you something. Every time it's like, Jordan needs this. I go, I didn't say that. Well, that's it. And then they talk about like the clients.
Yeah.
I don't need that. I need that.
Coolest job ever. Thank you so much, Jordan, for being on the show. Meelz, take us home, man.
We will see you guys next time on part 2 of our WrestleMania prediction party. Thank you guys, and let's stay tuned.
Peace.
Bye.